All right, all right, all right. Let's get going. Live for the Goodall versus Ajagba fight. Was goody country? You already know. I see some people are having an adverse reaction to Canelo Alvarez being named the number one super middleweight of all time by BoxRec. You know that their rankings work based on an algorithm that they set. It's essentially a point system. So, even as an algorithm, as a point system, it does have its flaws. But I wanted to get the panel's opinions on this. What it do, Bernard? Bernard, what it do, Gary? Um, I want to get the panel's opinions on whether or not Canelo Alvarez should be rated ahead of Joe Calzaghe, whether or not he should be rated ahead of Andre Ward. When you cross compare the resumes, what is Canelo being rated for? His super middleweight run or the totality of his career? What it do, Bobby Light? We out here, Dr. Mario. You already know George in the building. You know what I mean? And we'll be talking about that while we take in tonight's top rank card, and I am going to be simultaneously viewing the DAZN card as well, at least the main event. Myself, I feel like what might motivate Canelo Alvarez being number one at 168 is that he's the only undisputed champion the division's ever produced in the four belt era. So that's likely the argument, that Andre Ward, even though he spent the bulk of his career at 168, he never unified all the titles. He never won all the belts. And I've said in the past that you can count that against him because he had the chance to do it at 168 and he had the chance to do it at 175, but he never did it. And let's be honest, most of the people complaining are people who say they're Andre Ward fans. They believe that he should be ahead of Canelo all time, and I don't necessarily agree with that. I don't. So we're going to get the panel's opinions on that. Julio, que lo que, maning, odd father, what it do? Unbiased. Box rec rankings are trash. Not even tripping on Canelo being number one. I'm just saying that if somebody's going to make the argument that Andre should be rated ahead of Canelo, I would like to hear it. So I'm going to open up the chat to the panel. And please, guys, leave a few spots open for anybody who might want to join in the conversation as to whether or not they feel Canelo should be ranked number one super middleweight of all time. I would like to hear the argument. I would like to hear the argument that is made for Andre to be ranked ahead of Canelo Alvarez at super middleweight. As far as as far as Joe Cordina, I honestly think he dodged the bullet earlier today. He didn't look great to me. I think there's a legitimate argument that he might have lost that fight by a point, or at minimum, it could have been a draw at minimum. But I really didn't see Vasquez lose. That's how I felt after the fight. I
Right.
really felt like Vasquez lost that thing. At minimum, they could have given him a draw. You agree with that, country?
Yeah, yeah. It was a very close fight. Cordina was not fighting like a winner. He was not looking good, and he was getting pieced up a lot. I think there is a case for Vasquez. Actually, what I think is they should run it back again.
I agree with that. And I don't know if Joe wants to do that, but I do agree with that. Liam says, Goodall about to make it 2-0 against Ajagba. AJ, what do you think, man? Joe looked bad to me. Did he look bad to you?
Yeah. He didn't look like the killer he normally does. He didn't look so good, and I think honestly it could have been a draw at best. I really do. But yeah, that he was fighting Vasquez's fight. I think is what he was doing for
Yeah,
the most part.
he started off all right on the inside. He hurt the guy two times at least in the first half of the fight, but he faded down the stretch to me. I could see a draw or Vasquez on points.
Yeah.
Ray, what do you say?
For the decision, I was watching kind of sparingly, but I never really, though I thought the fight was close, I never really think I was like particularly worried that Joe was gonna lose the fight. I
Hmm.
kind of looked at it as like, all right, so it's either a draw or Joe Cordina is gonna win by like 1 round. Nah,
Mm.
I didn't see the cards. How much did he win by?
I didn't see. I didn't see the
It
actual
was
judges'
one
scorecards.
one judge scored it a draw, and the other two scored it 116, 112 in favor of Joe.
Yeah, that's a bit far. That's a bit
116,
far in my opinion.
112.
Yeah,
So with the judges, yeah, they had it that wide.
I
Wow.
don't know about
Yeah,
that. I
but
guess.
I'm not.
I
I'm not. I'm
guess
not surprised though. I was not surprised.
maybe it's because of his punches. Because some of his punches I was watching him land, they didn't really sting that much. They kind of looked like just throwaway shots at times, or just like punches for the sake of punches. And Joe's shots were a bit more impactful.
All the things I've done in my career. Julio is back.
Ah,
Everybody welcome Julio. I ain't seen him in a while. I ain't talked to him in a while. All the
Julio.
things he's done in his career. Where you been at, Julio? What the fuck?
I teach high school, man, so I don't get a lot of sleep.
Oh shit! You teach high school, bro?
Do you really?
Yeah. Dude. I teach civics.
Wow,
Oh
good luck
shit!
with that,
I'll
man.
pray for you, bro. I'll pray for you, Julio.
Yeah. I don't like staying up on school nights.
I dig it. So tell me, Julio, what did you think about Joe Cordina? Shitty,
Um,
not shitty? Did he get lucky?
I
Did he
mean,
dodge a bullet?
dodgeable. Me personally, like I was not looking at social media while I was watching the fight, and I thought it was a competitive fight that he just barely won. But yeah, I do think that he won. I don't think that was a controversial decision. I think the scorecards, like maybe it should be closer than 116, 112. But listen, you got to do more to win a fight, a boxing match, than just move forward in a high guard. I think Vasquez is a good fighter, but Joe Cordina is a little better, and he won a close fight.
I
Mm,
think it
mm.
should have been a split decision, man, to be honest. And welcome back,
Guys,
Julio. Good to have you here.
now, guys, now, we got to talk a lot of shit. Now that we got Julio here, we got to talk a lot of shit. Joe Cordina is not interested in fighting Oshaki Foster, bro. What do you think about that?
I don't see why not. I don't see why. I don't see why not. Like, he should just like, dude, go fucking unify already. That kind of ticked me off. But I mean, would it be an exciting fight to watch? I think for diehards, like for purists, yeah, it's not an exciting style matchup.
No, it isn't.
I'd rather see him fight Navarrete, and I actually think he'd do pretty well against Navarrete. Actually,
You're fucking crazy. You're
nah,
fucking crazy. You're fucking crazy, bro.
Nah, I understand the idea, but I mean, if he fights that way again, no. But if he's on like the balls of his feet and he's backing up and he's trying to catch him with straight punches, that makes more sense. I could see that happening.
Ray, gun to your head, bro. Navarrete, Joe Cordina. You're telling me you think Joe wins that fight?
I think it's close, maybe like 50-50 or maybe a slight edge to Navarrete, but I don't think it's like a whitewash.
yeah. Because the thing with Navarrete is never. I don't think he's ever really faced like a real good counter puncher that can also fight on the inside. I think that Joe Cordina can do that, and he'll probably, if he does beat him, it'll be another like controversial, really close split type decision, similar to this fight in Rakhimov. So
I feel like Navarrete would stop him, bro. I feel like Navarrete would stop him. I don't think
I don't see it.
I see it. I see it. I see it. File must be one of the file. This is not a JPEG file. What the fuck is it? What the fuck is it?
What?
It's fucking bad. Nah, I'm just trying to upload the thumbnail of the fight to the to StreamYard, and it's not letting me. It says it has to be. It says it has to be a JPEG or a PG-13. Yeah, JPEG. It's not letting me. That's the first time that's happened.
Well, you should be able to. There should be somewhere where you click on a button and you can make it when you're downloading, and it should say make or create as a JPEG, and you click on that, and then it'll do that.
Let me see. I'm gonna try it again.
When you download, there's different files. There's like JPEG and a couple others, and sometimes they're just different from each other.
Bastards, trying to stop my grind. So I never got your reaction, Julio, to what's going on with Fury. Just what is all of that herald for you that he stunk out the joint against the novice boxer? Are people being too hard on him, or does he deserve all the flack that he's getting?
I mean, I think it's pretty obvious he deserves the flag. I think he's declining. And I think that if you listen to Shane Fury talk, it's pretty obvious that he's declining. Like even during the Dillian White fight, like his brother was just like, "Yo, if he's not going to be active, then he should just retire at this point in his career." Like I think they see it in the gym that he's declining. He's not as slick. I was watching some of his older fights, like Wilder won. Like in all respect to him, like he actually did box his fucking ass off in that fight. I think people forget how much of a humiliation that fight actually was. Aside from the two knockdowns, I mean, he was fucking taking him to school. But since then, he's gotten slower and he's getting hit way more. Since he's adopted that whole like Kronk shit, like he's a lot slower and he gets hit. He's coming in at like 277. He looks out of shape. Like
Yeah.
I think he's genuinely in decline. Like I think his body's catching up to him, and I think he's old.
Let's go to Ray. Ray, do you agree with that? Do you think Tyson Fury's slipping and that's what we're looking at?
I mean, that's kind of what it would have to be at this point because I know a lot of mostly MMA fans are trying to pretend that it's like we really underestimated like Francis Ngannou. But when I was watching the fight, there was a lot of times I was looking, I was like, man, you know what's crazy? I don't even have to go too far back to see a Fury that would have countered some of these shots. Like there's a moment, I don't remember what round it is, but Francis swings straight over Fury's head with one of the worst punches I've ever seen. And I remember when Wilder did this and Fury ducked under and then he punched him while he was basically near the clinch. And he just could not do that to Francis Ngannou. And I was like, I don't understand. The shot's like right there. It's kind of like a guy that's messed up on his timing and stuff.
Well,
hold on. So Julio, I want to go back to Julio because we haven't had Julio here in a while. So how do you feel about the Usyk fight? Does it even happen? And if it does, who wins that fight?
I think it's definitely not happening in December. I think he tried to I think Usyk called his bluff and agreed to it and signed to it. But I think, I think it actually, I don't know if it's official or not that the fight's happening in January actually. But I believe that more so than the fight happening in December. There's no fucking way. After he looked like that this soon, no fucking way. But I mean, it's always been a tough matchup for him. But I think that there is shit we haven't seen with Usyk. Like we really haven't seen him fight like a dude that Tyson Fury's size, a dude who's gonna feint him back. But like the way that Fury looked like recently, like I mean, you can only go off the most recent performance. Like, yeah, man, I think that left hook, that fucking lead left hook that Usyk throws is gonna be there for him.
Yeah, I mean, my thing is that I don't even feel the need to apologize for Fury because to me, his abilities were always overrated. They were always. There's nothing that's happening now that hasn't been happening. That Fury got knocked down. Yeah, that's been happening all throughout his career, bro. Not just the Wilder fights. That's been happening throughout his career. And Fury is not consistent. Consistency is really the sign and the difference between good fighters and great fighters, elite fighters and not so elite fighters. And Fury is not consistent, nor has he ever been consistent. He's very selective. He knows who to avoid and why. And coming back and beating Wilder, at least to me, seems to be the entire predication of the modern perception of him. That somehow beating an uncoordinated, a guy with two left feet, no cardio, no coordination, barely any jab, who relies on a single punch, that has been turned into, oh, well, he's just the greatest heavyweight of this era. I mean, if that's the perception that you have of him, then yeah, you're going to be disappointed because he's not that.
Jules, let me point one thing out, and also too, just I want to say about him. One, we saw a sign of that when he fought Wilder. What was it, the third time? And Malik Scott trained him to actually use the jab, even though it only lasted like a round.
No, but that's my thing, country. That's my thing that we're talking about. That was a round, bro. And Wilder's been a pro for over 10 years, over 40-second fights. And that's what I mean, that nobody was saying none of this shit about Fury till the Wilder fights, bro.
Yeah,
nobody.
But what I'm saying is, hold on. But what I'm saying is that jab was giving him problems where he couldn't do very much for a minute because of that.
Yeah.
Now, the other thing I think is that he hasn't been as active, and he's probably been partying and fucking off again. And that probably is also what contributed to his, because I think the man's got a problem. And, it contributed to his decline. And he's probably hitting a point now where he's just ultimately starting to lose it.
Julio, do you agree
Yeah,
with
no,
that?
I
Yeah.
agree with the second part, but even then, like with the third Wilder fight, like, so a lot of people they don't know, like they think this is made up, but apparently it's not. Like when his daughter was born during that time, it looked like she was doing very badly, and he wasn't training. Like he said, yeah, he was doing his road work in the hospital building, in the steps, like running up and down the hospital building. But with this fight, the Ngannou fight, his brother Shane Furious is like, no, like he had a 12-week camp. Like everything went smooth. He has been in the gym. I literally think it's just like how any other fighter hits a wall at some point, and I think that
So
we're
you
seeing
don't
it in
feel
real
that he
time.
took it lightly? You don't feel that, here you see him. You were on easy street last year with Chisora. Let's call it what the fuck it is, because that's
Yeah,
what the fuck it was. And now you fight an MMA fighter. And once again, I view the whole fucking thing as one big psyop, because there are other people out there to fight. It's complete bullshit that there was no one out there to fight other than Ngannou. Do you interpret that as, you know what, maybe he didn't take this guy seriously?
no, I think that they thought it would be an easier fight because they know he's slipping. Like, why put him in?
Oh
Why
no, why
risk
you
an
giving him? Why
undisputed fight?
you giving him so much bail? Why you giving him so much bail, bro?
No,
I
no,
don't
no.
care
I'm not. I'm not giving him bail.
giving
I'm
him
saying
bail.
that they
Yeah.
know that he's at the end of his career, so they'd rather take money, which they
Why you
fucking blew
giving him
that too.
bail?
Apparently, the shit
Yeah.
flopped.
One at a
Apparently, the shit
time,
flopped.
fellas. Go ahead,
But
go ahead, Julio.
But yeah, I'm just saying. I think they took this fight because they thought it'd be an easy payday before setting up his basically his retirement fight, which is Usyk. And I think they know that he's slipping, so they weren't going to put him in there with a live dog. But so they took the money. But even then, that fucking apparently that blew up in their faces because apparently the event did bad. So I don't know.
Ray,
Oh,
does
look,
does
why I
Usyk
thought
win the
this-
fight? Ray, does Usyk win the fight? Do you feel that way now? Like, how did you feel before last weekend's fight, and how do you feel now?
Before I thought it was gonna be like depending on who the ref was, because I thought Fury laying on him and like just fouling him to a victory, kind of like he did with Klitschko, was a heavy possibility. But now I'm like, I mean, I don't know if that's gonna be really that easy. I don't know if you even have this. I don't know if there's gonna be a ref that's gonna allow you to do that. I don't know how. I just don't see it. I can't really see him winning anything short of like cheating. So basically, nah. I guess my opinions haven't changed at all. If he's not cheating, he's not winning. There we
I
go.
think he's got to knock him out. His legs are gone. Like Fury
That's
doesn't
what it looks
move,
like. He
bro. He
couldn't
doesn't move
manage,
anymore.
bro. He couldn't manage. To me, what I saw, which was alarming, was he was failing to manage the distance and measure properly against Ngannou. And honest to God, there's no excuse in the world for that. There just it's not, bro. It isn't. This guy is not a boxer. He does not have a boxer's muscle memory. So when I look at it, I see, look, I don't think you took this seriously personally. And adding to that, I don't actually think you're as good as they say you are. I don't. The Otto Valine fight seems evidence to me that you're not as good as you say you are, or they say you are. You can't be. Otto doesn't look that way with anyone else. He only ever looked that way with you, and you only ever looked the way that you looked with Wilder. You didn't do with Dillian White what you did with Wilder. You didn't do with Derek Chisora what you did with Wilder. The only time you've ever looked that way was with the same limited fighter. And you all know how I feel about Wilder.
Jules in chat, and more important news, Trevor Bryan got stretchered out
Oh,
out of this
I
fight.
seen on Twitter. I seen he got laid the fuck out.
Who knocked
Yeah,
him out?
so-
Cassius Chaney. He fought on. Do you remember a Top Rank fight, Jay, where he hit the guy so hard, real fat guy? He hits the
he
fucking guy
punched him
so
out.
hard he
He
literally
punched him
flies
out
out
the
the
fucking
ring.
ring. Yeah.
Oh shit!
That
I used it
nigga hit
I
him
used it
super
in an
good.
intro once. I used it Cassius Chaney. I don't know what the fuck he's doing on a Don King card because he used to fight on Top Rank, but I don't know.
Hey, by the way,
Oh
they're
yeah, I do
interviewing.
remember that. I do
By
remember
the way,
that.
they're interviewing Zhang right now, and they were talking about him and Ajagba fighting. Like, and apparently,
I love
Ajagba.
no, bro. I was about that I was about to allude to that. That
Oh, I like that fight.
with Zhang being here on Top Rank now, what that tells me is okay, we're flying Zhang out to America, and he gets the winner of this fight.
Well, no. Zhang said the reason he's there is because I think like his brother-in-law or somebody like that is involved in promoting this fight card, so he's there for support to them.
Bro, he's gonna
And
fight a Ajagba, and you fucking know it.
Oh
And you
yeah,
fucking
no, I
know
think
it.
it'd be. I think
Yeah.
it'd,
I mean,
no,
but
no.
it's not.
I'm just talking
it's not-
about what he said. Okay,
Frank doesn't have anything for him to do, country, and it's all your fault.
that's
But if
right.
Trevor
Oh
Bryan,
man,
if Trevor
yeah.
Bryan got
Don't
After,
part,
talk about my
yo,
man's country
And you
like
know
that.
after
what? I'll
Watch
do
your
it
tone of
again.
fucking
Damn it!
voice, nigga.
dude,
Watch your
after
tone of
the
voice. Don't
Ngannou
Go
talk
ahead,
fight,
about my
go ahead,
man's like
Julio.
that.
Go ahead, Julio.
yo, after the Ngannou fight, there's no fucking way they're gonna try and prolong the Usyk shit anymore. Because if they put him in with Zhang might knock his ass out. Honestly,
I think
Oh,
Zhang would knock him out, bro. And this is what I'm saying,
Yeah.
that this see, I don't want to take Fury and say, look, the fighter is no good. No, he is a good fighter, but it's too much hyperbole here, bro. You can't go from a nervous fighter who's a light punching heavyweight. And yes, that's how he was known. He was known as a light punching heavyweight. He wasn't known as a bulldozer, as a wrecking machine. And the only time he's ever been any of those things was with the same limited boxer 2 times. Every other time, he's on the balls of his feet, using a flick jab, fighting on the outside, and setting up counters. He wasn't a bulldozer with any of these other people. So, to me, what I think is really going on is you're seeing the real Fury. He didn't change that much. It's just Wilder was not that good. So, he was able to do things to Wilder that he doesn't normally do.
Yo, Jules, can you do me a favor? Can you give a round of applause for the terrible year that Warren's heavies have had?
oh god,
Thank you.
yep.
Well, I mean, let's not dick around for Virtuoso, because apparently Zhang is one of his heavies. So, you know, he can't do shit with him, but he does have options on him.
Yeah, that's the only one, and he's an import.
I mean, he only became one of Frank's heavies after he parked Joyce. So
no,
Yeah,
but if Top Rank keeps him like on, if they keep him on their side of like the
Yeah.
whole Warren deal, then
Yeah.
man, Top Rank's heavyweight, like they basically control the future of the division. If I'm being honest.
Well, I don't know that I would go that far, but yeah, they definitely got some major players. But shout out to my man Flavio out here knocking people out. He beat the shit out of Adelaide. I think he beat Solomon
look at the
Dakers.
God. Look at the
I think
Lord,
he
man.
beat Solomon
Yeah,
Dakers.
what about
And
Frankie Clark?
that, you know, it's because of the
Man.
amateur shit. But Clark doesn't impress me, Jay. He
Bro,
just
No, he hasn't impressed me either.
His career,
impressed me.
he's been a total. He's going to be another David Price, man. Like
I
his
won't be
career has been.
surprised. I think Fabio might be. I think Fabio could beat him. I really
His
do.
career has been totally mismanaged, man. Totally mismanaged.
Hey,
And-
yo,
and-
did Trevor Bryan even train for this? He looks awful.
He looked horrible, bro. He looked
Jesus,
fucking
man.
horrible. And I've seen Cassius Chaney. Like, look, I know he's not, an Adonis or anything, but he can fight. He can fight.
Dude, he looked like he was in terrible shape.
So, shout out to George. George says, overall career, hell yeah. For 168, not quite. In reference to Canelo Alvarez being ranked ahead of Joe Calzaghe, ahead of Andre Ward, some people are taking issue with BoxRec's current rank standings based on their point system, their algorithm.
I know Andre Ward ain't gonna like that, but at the
No,
end of the
he
day,
quote tweeted it. But my shit is this: that you left food on the table, bro. There's no two ways. I don't think Canelo ranks in ahead of you if you would have became undisputed. I don't. I think what he has over you is that he did that and you didn't.
and he's not better. And he's not better than Joe Calzaghe career wise as a super middleweight. Andre Ward. No.
No,
He
he's
did
not.
too much at that.
What's one of the flaws of algorithm that they haven't, I don't know if they have a way to correct this, is it tabulates a totality of points, some of which you didn't even amass as a super middleweight. You know what I mean? That is either number one middleweight, super middleweight, when you're tallying victories, points from victories that didn't actually happen at 168. Because that's what they do. When you beat a guy in their rank standings, it's a point system. So they're adding up all the shit that you did that didn't happen at 168.
Hey, did Yokasta Valle win her fight, or has she fought yet?
Nah, it's on right now. It hasn't happened yet. It's not even hasn't started yet. They're showing the undercard fights, and that's gonna be a good little fight. I do imagine that she's gonna languish. I'm just gonna say that for those that want to know. If you didn't catch my video, She's not Senicia Estrada. She's
Nope.
not Senicia
I got her
Estrada.
on points. I got her on points.
And I have her on points, but it won't be as dominant because you're not as strong, you're not as nuanced, you're not a switch hitter, and you're not as athletic. You're not as dynamic a fighter as Senicia, and that's why you struggled with the last girl, who was also a common opponent between
leave
you
my
and
big booty
Senicia.
bitch alone. Leave my
Yeah,
big
but-
booty
You
bitch
listen.
alone.
You could like her ass all day. That's great.
No, I
But
don't
on this
care. I
boxing
don't
shit,
care.
on this boxing
Nah.
shit,
No,
she
all
not
that
fuck.
truthful shit. All
Nah,
that
but like,
truthful shit, my nigga, we
nah,
not here for
nah,
that right
Okay,
now.
but
she's
Chris-
climbing in the ring country. They're putting
Yeah.
the grease on her face.
Okay.
Oh shit.
No, it's just-
That fellas like Trevor getting parked. He sucks. I never rated him. So
I mean, I don't think anybody ever rated
yeah,
Trevor.
yeah. I mean, when he was
George,
announced to fight, yeah.
shout out to George because this is what I knew. Steve Cunningham, God bless him, who was a great cruiserweight and a great fighter. He was not known for power, He wasn't. In his time, no, he was not known as a big puncher. And for you to knock down Fury, I mean, for me, it just feels like confirmation of what I've always thought. Look, this is the same nervous fighter who fights in a nervous way despite his size, which is what has made Fury so awkward. That in spite of being so big, he fights like a nervous guy. A lot of feinting, a lot of moving, a lot of staying on the outside. You're not really big on power. You don't even commit all the way to your shots. He doesn't really straighten out that arm when he goes for a power shot. The arm is always half bent. His hooks look weird if he even does hook. His jab, I saw Jay Habib trying to liken his jab to Larry Holmes's flick jab, and I'm like, see, this is the shit. This is the shit that I'm talking about. Like, are you out of your mind?
Yes, he is. Purely.
Wow. Wow.
I don't know what the love affair is. They're like, yo, dog, there's nothing so dynamic and special about what he's done so far that you should be comparing his jab to Larry's. I would sooner compare Lennox's jab to Larry's, even though they're not really alike. Even they're actually not alike. Larry throws the jab like a slap, whereas Lennox keeps the arm out there in range to shoot the jab without it having to travel very far. They throw it differently. Larry snaps out that jab. He shoots from the hip. It's like water. He snaps it out real fucking fast, and he doesn't add a lot of tension to it, which is why it's so fast, and which is why he'll touch your ass up with it. And I'm like, Fury's like, really? So Fury has a Larry Holmes jab? No, that's what we doing?
Didn't y'all Castlevania just fight like 2 months ago?
Yeah, she loved fighting, bro. She loved fighting, bro.
She stay active.
No, I love it. I love it. I love it.
Yeah, keep fighting, baby.
She loves fighting everybody but Senicia Estrada.
Yeah,
I mean,
fuck you, okay?
I mean, look, the man has a point. They made her an offer. They made her an offer.
She don't want none, man.
Yeah,
That's all.
Bro.
Shout out to Senicia Estrada. Whoever you may be.
To vacate the title so they can go vacant, then she can get them.
That's exactly you know that's what the fuck she waiting for, bro. You know that's what it is. Shout out to my man Jay Nels. I recently watched the documentary on Prince Nassim. It was obviously biased, but how good was Prince Nassim, and how would he compete with? Look, somebody as dynamic as Nassim. Honest to God, I think he beats the shit out of most, if not all, of the division. If he were here today, if he were here today,
Bro,
he had something that they don't have. There's good fighters at featherweight. Don't get me wrong, but they ain't Prince Nassim. They didn't have
this man had
extra that he had.
Insane punching power. That dude had insane punch. He's probably like
it took for Barrera to finally whoop his ass, which is no shame in that. That it took Barrera to whoop his ass.
And he was one of the most entertaining. He was one of the most entertaining fighters ever, especially with his ring entrances. Oh boy!
Let me tell you something. About Nassim, bro. From 1992 to 2002, dudes from 112 all the way up to 126. If you weren't Marco Antonio Barrera, and I can't even say Marquez,
beat that guy. You weren't gonna beat that guy, bro.
I can't even say Marquez or Morales, because he called Barrera Morales out when they were at 22 and when they were in their prime. But hey, it is what it is. They fought when they fought. But outside of them, you were not beating that guy. He was too fast.
Yo,
Too,
Oh, no, no, no,
too.
no, 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 no. Let's go to Julio with the question. Julio, how does Prince Nassim fare in today's featherweight landscape?
I mean, he'd be another dominant featherweight, or even super. I'd love to see, bro, him and Inoue. Well, I'd say Inoue is probably the biggest puncher in and around those weight classes since Nassim. Like I don't know why people like hate on him so much. Like I think it was because he was like a brash, arrogant guy, but he
Oh, it
fought a lot of
was.
good people, man. He fought a lot of good people, and he knocked a lot of them out.
It was because of his
But
flamboyance.
Julio,
He
you know
talked
what
a
it
lot
is?
of shit.
I think he gets a lot of hate because everybody judges him off that Barrera loss.
Yeah, I think
That
That
it's
is
loss
what
because
that's. You
before
know
that.
of
what?
how he
That's
went out.
shout out to
That's
Jay
exactly
because
that's
that's
exactly
exactly
what.
what they do.
But wait a minute,
There's a
Like he would.
let's
He
say
would.
this though. Let's say this though. Did he leave food on the plate because he had a win? Didn't he retire off a win?
He
Yeah,
did.
he beat
He did.
Manuel
He got
Cowboy
he got one
12.
more fight and then he
Wait a minute
retired.
though.
Yeah.
See, he used to piss people off. Like he knocked one dude out and like he stood over him after he knocked him out and shook his ass. And one of my good buddies was mad as hell about that, and he hated Ahmed because he would do stuff like that.
Yeah,
And
that's why they
so,
didn't like him. That's why they didn't like him because they said he used to talk a lot of shit. But mind you,
yeah,
when he called out Barrera the first time, Barrera didn't want to know. But hey, it's okay. We sometimes, the great ones get caught at the end of their career when everyone sees them
I mean,
as
see,
no
well,
longer.
the
But
thing is,
bro,
Barrera's
his
Are
fight
game.
you
with Kevin
wait,
Kelly.
wait, one at a time? Are you implying, Chris, that Nassim slowed down, or was it because I've heard I've seen the
no,
fight. It
his
seems to
hands
me
were
that
breaking down.
fundamentals is what beat him. Is what I
Yes,
saw. That
that's exactly what I was gonna say. Like, yeah,
Barrera had a no nonsense fundamental style, and it was the fundamentals that beat Nassim. That got
Jules,
through the
Well,
Raz and the pizzazz.
not only that,
Jules,
but remember he left Brendan Ingle to go fucking train with Manny
And
Stewart.
sure.
Manny
one
Stewart.
of
Yeah,
the
But let me
wait,
tell
wait a
but let
Yeah.
minute
me
though.
tell you.
One of the reasons he retired also though is because his hands were breaking down, and he ended up damaging his hands at one point. Like
Mm.
he
Yeah,
couldn't
that is
take it.
true. He always did say that, but I also say this in reference to Jules. I've seen a lot of technical fighters fight Nassim Hamed, bro, and he always found a way to break them dudes down. It seemed to me that after the Augie Sanchez fight, he couldn't make 26 anymore, and he was going up to 30, and they gave him a fucking monetary offer that he could not refuse. Do
Mm.
I think? Do I think that Barrera would have beaten Prime Nassim Hamed? No, because you know
Mm.
why? Barrera struggled with Junior fucking Jones, and I understand no triangle theories, and it's not even a triangle because
Oh,
Nassim
I
never
remember
fought
that.
Junior Jones. Yeah, but I'm just saying, just due to styles and due to how quick he was at one point in time, yeah, I think Nassim would have got him. Morales, the only person I really think he could not have beaten at 26. I don't care if he lost to Freddie Norwood at all. Is Juan Manuel Marquez because Marquez counterpunching would have caught that guy over and over and over again.
Mm. Mm.
Nah, remember the Kevin Kelly fight though.
That's
Kevin
oh yeah,
true.
Kelly's a
that
That's
was
very
great.
true.
That
good
was a great fight.
counterpuncher as well.
Yeah.
But what
I mean,
happened?
like,
What happened? He stopped him. He hit him with a massive
but
left
that
hand.
fight is incredible. Like, it's literally the fucking Hagler Hearns of that weight
I think
class.
Kelly.
Yes,
I think Kelly dropped him in the first round. Did he? He did, right? Yeah.
we know all that shit. But I know. Watching Nassim, and some people call me a fanboy of Nassim. That was one big part of my childhood too, man. Like I really enjoyed his fighting, but I not understood what happened because the politics of boxing
Well,
dictate.
look, they can call you a fanboy of Nassim, but they can't call you a fanboy of Royce the 5'9" because until I sent you a CD, you didn't even know who that was, bro.
Yo, bro,
Right?
that shit is
All
hilarious.
right? All
I
right?
fuck with Boom though.
So
That
why
was
don't you
one of
just
my
cut the
Jules with
fucking
the
crap?
consummate jabs.
I
Jules
didn't
is
know who the
hilarious,
fuck
bro.
that was till I told you who that fucking was. Okay,
When
bro?
I said
You owe me.
when I told him to step his bars up, this is when he started to start playing games. But hey, I'm just saying though, but we know politics, bro. We know politics. Politics is this. If you are a really good fighter that hurts people, or you're very slick and people hate your style, people are going to wait till you fucking start declining. And I don't
Yeah.
like that, bro. especially with a guy like
Well, the
that,
shit
because
is, you know
those
what the shit is that you have to, if you're a slickster, if you're a slickster, you yourself have to try to find a happy medium for you to be defensively responsible and simultaneously entertaining, because that's what's going to happen, whether people like it or not, or they think it's right or wrong. If you have a ho hum style, there's not going to be any incentive for anyone to fight you. It's not, bro. Look at what happened to Rigo. They parted around him like a river around a rock, because as effective and strong as he was, he had no marquee value. There's a cautionary tale there. It just is.
I mean, George, it seemed after he beat Donaire, that was probably the worst thing that could have happened to him.
that's a fucking fact, bro.
I wouldn't even
They're
say
just
that
like
that's,
Rigo is
no,
lava.
no, I wouldn't say it's the worst thing. It's that the other fights, if you really were watching Rigo, he's not an action fighter, bro. You can't go off of the highlights. This guy takes his time the whole fight, bro. He takes his time. And I don't really think it helps a boxer to have a minimalist approach to boxing, but yeah, that's what that is, bro. And people don't want that on TV.
I mean, me, and everybody else. I'm sure you guys would agree. I mean, like in the Donaire fight, he boxed the beat. That was a great performance. I didn't see an issue with it.
That was one fight. That's my thing. That like when you look at Richardson Richards, right? Good fighter. You can see he has tools.
You're such a fucking.
He has the tools. He has the speed. He measures distance well, manages distance well. Good feet, young. He's got good dimensions for the weight. But you got to throw punches, bro. Yeah, you got to throw punches, bro. Because that's what people pay a ticket for. That's what people turn the TV on to see. They want to see a fight, we want
to see a fight. Like Jules, you mentioned Rigo and Donaire. Nobody mentions Rigo when they mention Donaire first. They're like, no, that's the first ballot Hall of Famer, multiple division champion.
Is Rigo going to get into that's another question that I have. Rigo's not retired, for those that don't know. So the day that he retires, does he get in the hall? He's not retired, bro. He's still fighting.
After that accident he had with his
yes, bro. Yes, I was surprised too. He's literally had 2 fights since that accident, and he won them.
That's wild.
My question to the panel before I go smoke this cigarette: do you guys think that Rigo, with the resume that he has, gets in the hall?
I think so.
I think he could sweep the hall.
I think it's a possibility.
Absolutely. He does not deserve to be in the hall. Granted, some of it's politics. Granted, some of it's boring ass shit. If there's an amateur Hall of Fame, yeah. But professional, nah, Papi, nah. You over here boring as shit. You quit against Loma, so you can fuck off.
Could somebody name his top wins real quick?
Like maybe they'll give him a hall ticket just for sentimental value. Like, oh, he was the Cuban guy who finally made the Cuban style successful at a pro level or whatever. But in terms of like actual resume, like in accomplishments, I mean, how could you?
Absolutely not. Like the last Hall of Famer that has set a standard for this recent era, not counting GOATs, is Timothy Bradley. Does fucking Rigo have anything close to Timothy Bradley resume?
No, because they were willing to fight Timothy Bradley.
Exactly. No, well, but it's a combination of things though, fellas. Like when Rigo got his first step up, like, okay, Loma will fucking be your Huckleberry. What'd you do, bro? You couldn't do that little bullshit point shit to beat him, so you just quit. Like, come on, bro.
He did. That's true. I ain't lying. You can't. I can't even. As much as I love Rigo Rigondeaux, and I hate what Scott Quigg and Carl Frampton did, it is what it is. When he did step up to fight.
How many fights, Chris, does Rigo have where it's a stinker, where he purposely doesn't engage besides the Casemiro fight? He has a bunch of those.
Yeah. And the thing with the Loma fight is that, man, like, Rigo kind of went out sad because he was talking a lot of shit before that fight.
He was all over him on Twitter. He's like, he wanted that fight, and Loma's like, okay, fuck it.
And he got his ass beat, man. It is what it is. I can't even front on it because ultimately he talked all that shit. And this is one of my favorite fighters, bro. One of my favorite fighters coming up, man. I used to see him on HBO just embarrassing cats and shit. But
Bro,
unfortunately,
for
lost
like
his wife.
boxing nerds,
also,
bro,
fellas, like
boxing nerds and purists, like of course we love Rigo, but in
y'all
terms of
love.
getting in the
I
hall,
never loved
fuck
him at
no.
all.
I mean,
Never.
I love the style. Pause.
Why do you love that? That style is not the sweet science of bruising.
It's
That's
it's it's
amateur
it's just
point shit.
it's boring, but it's like the fact that he can do it is
Boring
very
but
impressive to
effective.
me, bro.
Boring but
But
effective.
Like the
I
fact
get it.
that
But that's
like to
not
do the
that's
shit
not
he
the
does is
fun.
like so difficult to try and do in a boxing gym. Like the fact that he can do it at that level, salute to him. But yeah, that shit is fucking boring. Like
But the
I
minute
would
he
not
got
pay
in there
money to
with
see that.
but the minute he got in there with another high level pugilist, that cute shit he was doing against lesser athletes went out the window.
That's a
So
fact. You
we have
can't.
to take in the level of competition he was doing. It's easy to do that against flat-footed motherfuckers that have no athletic what's that athletic that are not somewhat of an athletic equal.
Athleticism.
Yeah, like
Athleticism,
not
nigga.
necessarily better than you, but like okay, that person is a bona fide competitor where you guys is skill for skill and athleticism for athleticism. It's damn near equal. But don't get it twisted. I respect his talent, and because Rigo don't get in there, that don't mean all the fools that ducked him at PBC. No fucking Leo Santa Cruz ain't no fucking Hall of Famer. Abner Mares, all the dudes that who else ducked him from the UK? Was it Quigg or Frampton?
It was both.
Quick
They
and
both did. They
Frampton.
both did.
Yeah,
They
like
Yeah,
both did.
both.
none of them motherfuckers are Hall of Fame deserving to me either because of they fuck
I
shit.
remember.
A
I
lot of this,
remember
like,
when
let's
he.
keep it a buck though, Chris. A lot of this era of dudes don't measure up to a Tim Bradley Hall of Fame.
That's a fact, bro. That's a fact because let's look at it. Tim Bradley, his first world title, a motherfucker was getting peanuts, bro. Literally, he got peanuts to fight Junior Witter, bro. What does he do? He goes to the UK, bro, and outclasses a very tough and a very
Bro, Junior
avoided
Witter
fighter
had
in Junior Witter.
skills.
People
That
don't
slick
understand
fucking
that.
Sheffield shit.
Slick,
Like
slick shit. That like that Hurl Graham Sheffield shit. Tim Bradley found a way to
Talk
fucking
that shit.
neutralize
establish
And
it.
what
Neutralize it.
about the hype when it was him versus Alexander, undefeated motherfuckers? Like,
yes.
okay,
He beat that dude. He beat yo, bro. Kendall Holt hit him so hard his leg was twitching. He got up and beat his ass, bro.
Yeah,
Beat
you got
his
to think
ass.
with
He's a
Bradley. You got to
dog,
think
my
like
nigga.
Bradley didn't
I
have
love
like a
that nigga,
long
bro.
amateur career, Olympics, none of that shit. This
But
dude
he
had
was a
like I think he
very
had like,
good amateur. He was a very good one, though.
but he
Let's not
wasn't
even
like
say
elite, man. He wasn't like one of the blue chip. He wasn't like Zab Judah or someone like that. Like just won nationals every fucking year. He really got it out the mud when he got to the pros.
yeah, Bradley.
but he was skilled. He
What I
was
love about Bradley, he got that dog in him. Like, where I might not be as athletic as you, as strong as you, but you're not gonna outwork me at all.
Work you in the basics. I'm gonna know that shit so well. I'm gonna slip punches correctly. My defense is gonna be so solid. He's solid in every
Solid, because
fucking area.
Chris, keep it a bug, y'all. I could go back and watch that fucking Marquez fight and look, wow, that was beautiful fucking boxing. Fuck what Rigo
Yes,
doing.
it was. Yes, it was.
What he did
That
with
that split
Marquez,
that
that
wasn't
is
a split
professional.
decision.
That's professional boxing right there at its finest.
That wasn't a split decision. He won that
I
fight
want to say
unanimous.
what I want to say about all pure boxers in this era is that I guess the fundamental flaw that always seems to work, like, look, Sissoko's a pure boxer, but he put on an entertaining fight. You know, he's a pure boxer. He's an outside jabber. He's a mover, but he engaged. You know, it wasn't just like he's looking to create space. He was letting his hands go. He wasn't just getting pushed around. And what I notice about a lot of other pure boxers is they actually don't do that. They spend most of the time creating space to set a trap, and that's about it. They're
Hey,
looking to
Jules,
get him with a
Like I wanted to ask
for a
you,
link.
Jules, before you took off.
yeah,
When I
but there's
brought up
10 people. There's 10 people up here already.
while I
Oh.
brought up Bradley, Jules, like,
Look, send me. Listen, Isan, just send me $50, and I'll kick one of the guys off.
but I wanted to ask you, Joe. I wanted you to chime in. Jules, based on the standard that Bradley set, I was telling the guys, like, I don't see Abner Mares, Santa Cruz, Frampton, any of these guys.
None of those. Those are all B
No
and
Hall
C
of
tier.
Famers.
Those are
None
all
of these.
B. And
Yeah.
I've been saying that. Those are all B and C tier. Every single last one of them is B, C, and D tier. Every single last one of those guys.
Like, who's deserving of the Hall of Fame by Tim Bradley's resume, which is a
Nobody.
basic Hall of Fame resume.
Let
I
me
mean,
let,
you
let me
could say in the 2 divisions that Tim has been in, he's done more than the 4 divisions that Leo has been in.
That's a
Fought
fucking
better
fact.
fighters.
Or Errol Spence or Danny Garcia. This whole era of
Errol
guys
Spence.
doesn't really have
Spence is
nobody.
not a Hall of Famer. Errol Spence is not a Hall of
That's
Famer.
what I
Let's
was
not
saying.
even
Like,
talk
who,
about Earl
dude,
Spence, bro.
minus the goats of this era. Like, who is fucking deserving of a Hall of Fame these last 15 years?
Look, I could count on one
Yo, guys,
hand.
I'm about to be out. Peace. I'm about to be
Listen,
out. Peace, guys.
listen. It's not my fault you never heard of SWV before me, bro. It's not my fault. All right, that I had to send you a CD just for you to even know who that is.
Here. Be right here.
Hey, Chris said that he was jumping off. Drop the link for Eson then.
Oh, I need to see that $50.
I need to see that smile
Wow.
picture.
Crazy,
I need
bro.
to see that smile picture of Esau first, though.
I'm just playing. I'm just. Hey, for
What is
my
y'all
man,
Costa doing? Is this the
Esau
boxing?
with the Nissan. Shout out to
Costa
my
doing?
man.
Is she boxing or wrestling?
He hates when I post that shit. My man, Esau
Vic
with the Nissan.
Darcinian?
That's not Vic Darcinian. That's Eson.
No. What's it called? The comment for, I guess, somebody who should be going into the Hall of Fame.
Hey, y'all are interrupting Jules. He said he could name on his hand the real B-level guys that
You
deserve
said
the Hall
that.
of
You
Fame
know,
in
you
this
said
era.
this era. You said this era.
Oh,
Well,
Yeah, you
if
said
we're
of, like,
talking
the
about,
B-level guys.
if we're talking, no, not even because look, the problem with the Hall of Fame also that you have to factor into the equation is sooner or later some of these bleeding hearts that love Wilder and love Spence, they're gonna end up being the voters. They are. You know, Sean Zeidl's one of the voters, I believe it is now. Did you know that?
The Hall
Sean
of
Zeidl?
Fame. What you guys got to realize
Is
this.
that
Sean
let
Zito?
me is
The Hall of
Yes,
surrender
Fame.
bro.
is surrender a weak radio voter?
Well, I
The
don't
Hall
think
of
so.
Fame does not have a high standard. It really doesn't.
It used
Bye,
to.
Eson.
It used to, but it doesn't now. What's up, guys? What's up? What's up?
Eson, I got a question for Eson. Everybody
Yeah.
shut
What's
the fuck
up?
up. Everybody shut the fuck up. Eson, do you think that Rigo has had a Hall of Fame career
No,
based on what he's done so far?
no. Rigondeaux?
Rigondeaux.
Fuck no. He's a good. Don't get me wrong. Rigo was an excellent fighter. He was an excellent fighter. But God, hell no, he doesn't have no Hall of Fame career. Yeah, you beat Donaire and it was a great win, but like you did get shut out after that. I understand, but you don't. No, there's nothing Hall of Fame about Rigo. Nothing at all.
I didn't get to ask you about Tyson Fury. Julio, he had some really interesting takes. He attributes everything that we saw to slippage. He believes that Fury is slipping. To what do you attribute the Ngannou performance? Was it slippage, or is it just the unprofessional fighter that paid for being unprofessional?
Well, I will say I've been saying Fury is slipping. I said this years ago actually. I haven't seen Prime Fury since his comeback. None of us have. And if you
That's
look at
true.
his legs when he fought Vlad, and look at after, and look at everything he did after Vlad, and there's no way you get your prime back after all that shit. Now, was he still a good fighter? Yeah. But Fury's legs have been gone for a while. He couldn't move like he used to. That's why he started crashing the pocket on guys and really having to take it to Wilder. That's
You
why.
don't think that was part of
Yeah,
the
yeah.
strategy
I
It
for
was
said
Wilder
no. Now
I
specifically?
said since Wilder won, we really haven't seen Fury be slick.
Let me go. Let me finish. I will say it was a part of the strategy. It was a part of the strategy, but he also had to do that because he just couldn't move like he used to. And now when he fights guys like Chisora and White, who don't really have crazy foot speed to crash the puck on him, yeah, he can dance a bit. But Fury's footwork has been slowing down. He's been doing coke like a motherfucker every time you see
That
him on
is true.
camera at
That
Parker
is true.
fights.
And he's
So
been
yes,
bending over for Joseph Parker.
yeah. Fury is
Yeah.
on the
If
slide.
anybody's bending over, it's Joseph. What the
Yeah,
fuck?
Fury. I will say Fury is on the slide. Yes, not drastically, but he's been on the slow slip. But he's a heavyweight, so it's not as
Slipping in
drastic.
Joseph Parker.
But also, but yeah, also he didn't take Ngannou. He didn't take Ngannou serious. That's a part of it. It's all a bad mix for Fury. Francis was a little bit better than expected because if you look at Francis' footwork, he
No.
focused. No. I'm gonna say if you look at the way Francis moved his feet, you could tell he focused on his footwork more than his actual
No.
striking. I'm not saying
If
he's
only he
great.
had more
I'm not
volume.
saying Francis is great.
No,
Don't get me
man.
wrong.
Francis
Wait,
dog
would
shit.
say,
Before
but
I
Francis
pass
was
it to
better than
Julio, before I
Francis was
pass
better.
it to Julio for his retort, shout out to Aaron Kuko who asks, what exactly is pure boxing? For me, what Inoue does is pure boxing, and I would not characterize Inoue as a pure boxer. He's a boxer puncher.
Yes.
He can box. Yes, he uses the boxing to implement the punching, but he does go in there with the intention of getting you out. Whereas that's not the pure boxer's intention. The pure boxer is an outside fighter who's completely defensively minded, economic in a round, and spends most of the fight on the balls of his feet on the outside of his opponent. That is not Inoue. That is not Inoue.
Yeah, well, I could agree with what
Yeah.
he's saying, Aaron's saying in terms of the London Prize era of boxing, where it is to get your guy out of there. That's pure boxing.
Yeah, I think people confuse pure boxing with like fundamental boxing. Like to me, Inoue is a pure fundamental boxer because he does everything basic, but he just applies it at a very high level. Like people say Errol Spence he has these great fundamentals. Like no, he's just basic.
No, he doesn't.
He's just basic. That motherfucker overreaches. He overreaches. His balance is off. His legs are far apart. Pause.
Y'all gotta let each other make a point. Go ahead, Julio.
So when it comes to pure like fundamentals, no, his fundamentals, he does have a lot of flaws. He's basic. Like he just does the same shit over and over again because it works for him. I'm talking about perfect, pure fundamentals, like basic fundamentals. Inoue throws everything, does everything textbook. He just does it like he just knows how to put flavor and sauce to it at a very high level.
Now let me retort with this, Julio. See, people are confusing base styles with textbook boxing, and that's not what they are. The textbook style at its base, you can be fundamentally sound as a pure boxer, a boxer puncher, and even a pressure fighter. You can be fundamentally sound with all three. They're not about the flaws. What determines the base style is the temperance and the rhythm of the fighter. If you're a guy who always wants to lay into your opponent, you always want to be mid-range, and you have a penchant for throwing 3 and 4 and 5 punch combinations, Brody, you're a pressure fighter. You want to apply pressure on your opponent. That's your temperance as a fighter. Now, a boxer puncher, he's a little different. He might want to move lateral. He might want to come forward. He might want to move backwards. A lot of little different tools, but it's his temperance, that in and out, that I'm not doing everything one way, in and out. That's the boxer puncher. The pure boxer, what's characteristic of the pure boxer, they don't really want to get into a dogfight. They don't really want to engage. They want to pot shot, stay on the outside, stay out of harm's way, stay on the balls of their feet, and use the ring. A pure boxer is probably the easiest face style to identify. Whoever's making all that noise, mute your mic.
I want to add something whenever it's my opportunity, so just let me know when I can go.
Okay, Julio, then Villain.
Just to add one last thing, I think it's interesting, but I think that actually pure boxing, like that style, is the least effective style of the past. I don't know how many fucking decades. Like when was the last time we really seen like a pure boxer really, really dominate at the highest level?
Floyd.
I think it's been a long time. Well, Floyd, that's like, but that's like towards the end of his career. In the beginning of his career, Floyd was really a boxer puncher. He evolved into a pure boxer.
Can we say this? Bivol is, and I wish that we saw more of the guy. When you look at him at first, you definitely see a pure boxer. I completely agree with you. But he showed another gear in the Ramirez fight.
Yes.
I'm not limited.
So he walked Ramirez down.
Boxer puncher.
He showed that he can be that if he has to be. That's not what he normally does.
Nope.
But if he has to be that, he can be that.
Julius,
that boxer puncher.
Even with Canelo later in their fight, he became a boxer puncher later in their fight at point.
Yeah, because he was stepping in.
When he started to crowd Canelo more, when he was gassing out.
Remember when he had him on the ropes? He let go like 5 punches. Bing, 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 bing.
Yep. Julius,
he's going for it.
Do you mind if I just list like 3, like the difference, like 3 fighters that I'd say that are pure boxers and boxer punchers, just so people have like an idea of what the difference is. So 3 pure boxers. Bivol, most of his career, pure boxer when he's in the outside, bouncing in and out, picking you off of counters. Another pure boxer. Fulton, probably lean more towards a pure boxer. Haney, Shakur. Haney, Shakur, pure boxer.
Definitely.
So, Shakur,
definitely.
Yeah, definitely. Shakur, I would say
Haney more than Shakur.
I
would say that Shakur is straying.
As we see more,
Shakur is straying into boxer puncher country because you see how he lets his hands go. He steps in. He comes over the top. the Mochaccino fight.
and his
I was gonna
he has
say,
what a
I
lot of
think
pure boxers don't have, and that's like one of the best inside games. One of the
Yes.
best
he has
inside games in boxing.
Shakur.
Yeah, he does. And
As
this pure
Shakur
boxer
moves up,
thing didn't really start till we got to the point system.
No,
When it was
because
40
pure
and 50
no pure
rounds.
boxers.
No, what I'm talking
Pure
about.
boxers have always been around. You know, if you watch a Nicolino Loche fight, right? He'll spend a lot of rounds just slipping, rolling, and riding punches. He'll spend a lot of portion of
Look at Finito.
No,
So-
I'm talking about before we got to the round system where it was you're just going 40, 50 rounds till someone stopped. Till there had to be a stoppage. That's when that
I mean,
pure
none of us
boxing-
were alive for any of
Yeah,
that
you
stuff.
can
Drew,
pure
what the
box
hell are we
that
gonna
fight.
do? Like, we
Wait,
talking
let
about
me
Sullivan?
Let me continue.
That is not
Drew,
the beginning, like-
Drew's
Can I
a
continue
fucking
with the list?
anthropologist now.
No, but what I'm saying, fellas, what I'm saying is this pure
Yo,
boxer shit is still barely like 80, 90 years old compared to the
Drew
totality of the
is
sport.
Drew is studying Nicolino Lochi's fossils. Like,
Look,
look at
the basic idea
Wait, let
here
me
is that
continue with the
I'll pass
Enough
it to
history
you after
class.
this. I'll pass it to you after this. What I'm saying is, and I do agree with Julio on this, that in the modern day and age, the pure boxer is probably the least effective style. It's most effective on the boxer puncher. Like if you put a pure boxer in there with a boxer puncher, they usually give them fits, especially if they're a counter puncher that's looking for a window. You know the pure boxer's not
Literally,
going to give you that.
all of them had to evolve. Like we were just talking about Tyson Fury, bro. Early in his career, this motherfucker was lateral movement and then like a million feints, and then now all of a sudden he's Krog, Detroit, all this other shit. Yeah, because that shit was getting you fucking dropped like nothing against Wilder. So
Hey,
of course you had to change.
Hey, let me bring up a quick point that Jose Siskioma made. He says your body mechanics dictate what style you're fighting.
Absolutely.
That's
because a proper. This is the thing. This is the thing. Let me say, there's a lot of different ways. There's a lot of different ways to throw a jab. There's a lot.
I think Shakur is going to start capping out more as a boxer puncher as time goes on.
All right, now I would say there's a lot of different ways to throw a jab, right? You can throw a flick jab, a stiff jab, a step jab. There's a lot of different ways to throw it, change the cadence on it. It's what your intentions are that determine whether you're a pure boxer, boxer puncher, pressure fighter. If you're always stepping into that jab, you see how Artur uses it? It's not a stiff jab. It's not even the same step jab that Gennady used to throw. It's like a flick jab almost. He's just, and he doesn't even really want to hit you with it. He might, but it's just to close the gap. While he's doing this, you're Artur's. Artur ain't trying to land no jab. He's trying to land. He's just trying to get you to holster your guns, and while you holster your guns off of his short jab, he can bring the other punches over, the uppercuts.
It's because Artur knows if his jab gets close to you, everything else is gonna hit you.
Exactly. Whereas you'll have a Golovkin. Golovkin's got a beautiful, or he used to have, I should say, because ever since he got with John, he just didn't look the same.
We don't talk about that. We don't talk about that Golovkin no more.
But his step jab was beautiful. All his weight is channeled into the jab as he steps forward, and he keeps pumping it out at you. It's a very different jab from Artur's jab with a similar intention, which is why some people thought of Gennady as a pressure guy. I didn't. I just figured, no, he's a boxer puncher. His fundamentals are good, and he has a lot of volume. So it seems like pressure because he has a lot of volume, but he's actually a boxer puncher. Doesn't look that way because he's always beating the shit out of a guy, but he's a boxer puncher.
And the thing with Golovkin that also makes him not a pressure fighter is he don't really want to get close to you. Golovkin likes that space for his jab, and those weird angled punches he would throw, like that fucking loop that he threw.
That chopping right.
I'll do you another one.
Not even that. Not even the corkscrew shit. He would throw a straight hook, no fucking lie. But also Golovkin, he would step into his jab, but like with the second Canelo fight in particular, he would flick it too, and it would still snap your head back. He would just flick it out from his waist. That's a perfect fucking jab in every sense that there is.
I'll do another one. Like people.
Go ahead, Julio.
I'll do another one. Like people, I've heard people describe Loma as a boxer puncher, as a fucking pure boxer. To me, he really is a pressure fighter. Like he's a pressure guy, mostly. Yes.
I say he's a hybrid. He's a pressure fighter.
He's in between, bro.
Bro, Loma
before
can't fight going
Julio,
backwards. Loma
before
He
cannot
doesn't
fight
have the
going
President,
back
backwards.
foot
no,
game.
it's not that. It's not that. Look, by all rights, Loma is a very small man. So in a lot of these lightweight fights, fighting backwards would be stupid. It would be stupid for you to fight backwards going against Jermaine Ortiz because he's bigger and longer than you are. So if you go backwards, if you try to stay on the outside of him, you're a sitting duck. So you want to get to the side of him, pivot, use the angles. Because if you go backwards, he can pop you out there, right? I would say that Loma's base style is in the middle of the boxer puncher and the pressure fighter. He has the pressure fighter's temperance and volume, but he has the fundamentals of the boxer puncher. And yes, he does want to hurt you.
But
He does
but
want
to
to wear
me,
you out.
at
It's tough.
lightweight, like Loma is similar to Canelo in the sense that since Canelo's gotten to 168, if you've noticed, he's actually become a pressure fighter because he has to get the respect out of these bigger opponents, and the only way to do that is to fucking pressure them, is to be in their face. If he fucking tried to box against Kovalev would have walked him down. But I think that was the fight where you really see Canelo like
Yeah.
making a concerted effort to be more of a pressure fighter than he was when he was at 154, 160, where he was like super slick, countering and all that other shit.
Yeah, but you
I
have to.
think Loma is like that at lightweight, where like Loma has to get these guys respect because they're a lot bigger than him. So where like he's like even more in your face now than he was when he was at 130 or some shit like that.
He's become
Well,
more
you
of a
have to
126 and
agree.
130.
brawler.
You have to
Go
agree
ahead,
too,
Villa.
Hey,
though.
Julius.
You have to.
Wait, go ahead, Villa.
You have to agree too that that you also have to tailor made your fighting style compared to the person you're fighting as well too. Because if you're a high educated, high IQ boxer, then these guys are supposed to fight different opponents differently. A la Tyson Fury fought. He saw those holes in in Wilder's game and ended up of course coming forward and acting more like the aggressive fighter that he's generally not. The question I wanted to ask before we get off subject is when was the last time that Tyson Fury actually had to fight somebody who cut the ring off, who had good
It's never
footwork?
happened. It's
That's my
never
point. And
happened
so
in
like
history.
when he's actually has to fight a guy that does that, that's why I think a lot of these opponents that he's been fighting have been these slow plodding move forward guys that he knows that he can pick off. So it's gonna make him.
Yeah. Like when Tyson Fury has to be the bull rather than the matador, he looks like a fucking fish out of water.
Look at
Who
the
are
auto
we
belief
talking
sign.
about? Christian Hammer, right? Christian Hammer, Vladimir Klitschko, Sefer
He
Seferi,
was old.
Francesco Pianetta, Tom Schwartz. They're trying to treat Tom Schwartz like he's Cleveland Williams in the Ali fight, doing the thing with the highlights and shit.
Fury looks good, and this is Fury's gimmick. He's a big guy with, yes, more athleticism and lighter feet than most guys his size. But when you
Yes.
put Fury in there with guys who are smaller than him and more athletic, Steve Cunningham's, Pike Chicks, Otto Wallins, that's when you see Fury getting counterpunched looking crazy. Otto Wallin fucking wobbled this guy like 3 times and was counterpunching him multiple times because Wallin had the foot speed and the hand speed to get under his shots and counterpunch Fury.
Bro, he
made
won that
Fury
fight.
look
Can
like
I
Go ahead,
can I just point out
Virtuoso.
something?
Go ahead, Virtuoso.
I just want to point out something. Did you all see a video of him walking at like in the public, like in Spain or whatever in Europe, and he's like, looking at his phone, nobody bothered him, but you see his leg. It's like I think his left leg. It looks like it has rickets, bro. Like it's bent inward, and that to me is a sign that's like that's a guy who's gonna have a shaky base right there, and he cannot. He cannot be
Virtuoso, I'm glad you said that because I maintain the weight on Fury's body is not distributed evenly. Most of it is in the trunk. His legs are not particularly beefy. They're not very thick and long and veiny.
Yeah,
and hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're wild. You're wild.
Yeah, he looks. He's built like a half-empty toothpaste.
Yeah.
I mean, he's built like a kid's drawing of a grown man.
Yeah.
Who's built like a half-empty toothpaste?
Tyson Fury.
Yo, he's built like a turkey.
Who's the dude?
Yeah, I got a non-veiny related question for you, Julian.
Non-veiny?
Oh,
okay.
God.
It's a girthy question, though.
Nah.
This is going to be a thing for at least another year, bro.
This is going to be a thing forever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, this ain't never going away. This ain't
I was
never
gonna
going away.
ask what your take was on that whole. Can you hear me?
Yep. Yeah, I can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay, yeah, I was gonna ask, what was your take on that Box Rec 168 list? I saw your Twitter post. They had fucking Danny Jacobs in
My
top 10 super middleweight.
well, let's get a few things straight. If you're going on off of BoxRec's rankings, which I elaborated at the beginning of the show, they're tabulating points. That's what the algorithm does. So when you see a Danny Jacobs there, it's not actually because he belongs there so much as they amass the totality of the points, and because he's at 168 now, they rank him there now. When in all
Right.
actuality, the bulk of his career is below 168. So when
No,
you look at
it's all there.
Canelo, when you look at I think they have Andre in there, and I'm like,
Yeah.
bro, Andre's been there for one fight. How could he be a
Right.
top 10 super
Exactly.
middleweight,
And it
Doesn't
was
even
a
make any
right?
journeyman.
sense.
So BoxRec's system is flawed already. Where it becomes an argument with Canelo, however, is Canelo can say, I was undisputed. I wasn't just unified. I was undisputed in the four belt era. And unless I'm mistaken, he's the only undisputed champion in the history of the super middleweight division, which is one of the younger divisions in the
Yeah.
sport of boxing. It doesn't have the
Yeah.
lineage of the welterweight and middleweight divisions. It's one of the younger ones.
Yep.
So when you put him at number one, I see, I see. There's an argument that you could make that, well, did the guys that Ward fight, would Froch have beat Smith? Would Froch have beat Saunders? Would Froch,
Yes.
and you do
Yes.
it that way to look, okay, well, who fought better people in your opinion? But when they put him at number one, it's two reasons primarily. The undisputed, which is a good reason, and their system is flawed because their system is flawed. When
Yeah.
you got Canelo at number one, you're adding in points from things that happened at middleweight and junior middleweight. You're not just focusing on the super middleweight part of it.
Right. Yeah. I think Canelo is absolutely a top 5 to 3. Absolutely top 5 to 3, just based off his accolades at the weight and the rankings of the guys he beat. And like you said, super middleweight is not that old. And sure, have there been better fighters that have gone through the division like Roy, Tony? Yeah, but like they didn't have the depth at 168 like Saul has right now. I think it probably goes Calzaghe, Ward, I guess Canelo right there. I think who
I would say this. This is what Canelo needs to do to really sell it to me. You beat David, I give it to you.
he might have. Yeah, he might
Why?
have to beat David. He might. Yeah, he
The
might.
reason I say this is because whether we like it or not, and I judge him for it, I judge him harshly for it. Ward, you left food on the table. If you would have become
Yep.
undisputed, we don't have this conversation. And the same applies to 170, 75. I'm going to say this.
Yes. Yes.
I don't consider Ward an all-time great light heavyweight. I don't.
Hell no.
Four,
Hell
four
no.
fights, bro. Paul Smith, Sullivan Barrera, and 2 Kovalev fights.
Wasn't it
Nah,
like
that's not an all-time great light
no?
heavyweight ranking.
Alexander
And
Brand,
listen
him too.
and for yeah and for me, like, people don't like when I say this, but I'm like, bro, Joe won every. He wasn't undisputed because the IBF stripped him stupidly before the Kessler fight for all the belts. But Joe did have every belt at the weight, and he left no. He didn't really leave. He fought Kessler when it mattered the most, and he went up to light heavy. There was no. He didn't leave a bootay on the table. He didn't.
Mm,
He he
mm.
he
Yeah,
he,
and you
he
can't
beat
say
he
that.
beat Eubank. He beat Eubank which was a good win at the time because Joe was young. Eubank went to cruiserweight and got robbed of the cruiserweight belt. And Joe defended that WBO Euro title like 20 times, which also helps his claim to the number one status, in my opinion. Then he
Mm.
fights Lacey when everybody was, and my uncle tells me all the time, he's like, bro, everybody and their mom thought Joe was washed, a Euro bum,
Yes,
and was gonna get cooked
yes.
by Lacey, and everybody said
Nobody,
Joe
nobody
waited too
thought,
long to fight
nobody
somebody
thought that was
finally.
gonna happen to Jeff, bro.
Yeah, exactly.
Nobody thought.
Yep, and I was talking to one of the box rec historian guys that works for Ring Magazine on a space the other day, and he said everybody was saying that Joe waited too long. He's had too many hand surgeries. He's old. He's slowing down, and Lacey's gonna be too much for him. He cooks him. Then he goes and unifies with Kessler when Joe was like 33 and past it, and Kessler was like 26 in his prime, and then he washed him.
Mm.
That's to me Ward, you didn't do that because you left your Kessler on the table, basically. Me, you left your Kessler lying
Yeah,
on the
and,
table.
and you can't say Ward aged himself out of the division either, because the guy who's one of the most dominant fucking 175 pounders in the world right now was his mandatory. Fucking Arthur Betterby was. He's
Exactly.
from the
And
same
Dimitri,
era as
And
Andre
then
Ward.
and
Like,
Bivol
man,
and
listen,
Bivol. People tend
listen.
to forget this, and you know I don't want to do that to him, right? Because then it just sounds like I'm shitting on
I
him.
know what you're
But
about
at
to
the
say.
same time, you do have to look that Artur was coming through, Dimitri was coming through, right? You only had one belt to get, and if you would have got it, I don't even worry about those two fucking
Hell
guys.
no.
Fuck them. But if you would have fought fucking Stevenson, once again, we don't have this conversation.
Hold on,
We,
hold
Right.
on.
But
Don't you
people
think
look
it's a
at
bit
you.
unfair though?
Bozdick.
bro, what the
Because
fuck else, bro? What the fuck?
no. What I mean, no, not for super middleweight, because I don't know what the fuck he was doing on there. But Stevenson, remember, like that wasn't an easy guy to like just pick up the fight. Remember, the
He didn't
dude.
even try. Ward
Bro,
didn't try. That's the
yeah,
problem.
there,
He
there
said,
was
I don't
never
So
need
a
him.
conversation. There was never a conversation or an attempt to even do it.
Yep. He said, after the fight, Max asked him after the second Kovalev fight, he said, are you looking at a fight with Adonis Stevenson for the undisputed heavyweight title? He said, no, I got nothing left to prove. Bro, what are you talking
oh, never
about? What are
mind,
you talking
never mind.
about?
I spoke too
That's
soon.
not that's not all-time great light heavyweight talk. Can you
I,
imagine if
I
Michael
agree.
Spinks would have said, I'm not fighting this guy for undisputed? What the fuck are you talking
I
about?
Julius, I
agree.
have a question about
Go
that.
ahead, go ahead, Leo.
Look, I have a question about that fight, that Kovalev versus Andrew Ward fight. How Andrew Ward got that fight? Because as far as I remember, it wasn't any fucking money for that fight. So how convinced Kovalev to take that fight?
Right.
Well, here's the thing. At that time, there wasn't a whole lot for Kovalev to do outside of the Stevenson fight, which by then we knew this shit is not going to happen, bro. Stevenson's over there on Showtime. This is not going to happen. Period. Right. So I believe that Ward became the IBF mandatory. I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong. When he fought Sullivan Barrera, because
Yeah,
Sullivan
because he didn't
Barrera
have
was
to.
in
Yeah.
position to fight for a title. I think it
Yeah.
was the IBF. I'm not
Yeah,
sure. You
because
got
Ward wasn't a WBO champion at super middleweight. He went up with the
yeah.
IBF. And
He
Jack
never
had
had
the
that.
WBA, Reggie.
Has anybody got on Julio's ass for not being on the live for a while and is not having his insight?
All the things he's done in his career, he's got
You
it.
know,
No, he's
Julius,
got it.
when I think about that whole Bivol and Baturbiev shit for Ward, it's like, do I think you no, I don't think you ducked them, but I think you did look at them like, this motherfucker, this big motherfucker that likes to fight inside where I like to fight, who's way stronger than me. And I got bad knees too. Do I really
Ethan,
want to get
I
stopped by
said it,
him?
bro.
Do I really
Ward
want to
was
get
not.
stopped by him?
Bro, to
Ward
me,
was not.
Ward is the
Ward was
greatest
not.
underachiever. He's the greatest underachiever of all time.
Ward
Yep.
was not an outside. You know, Ward was defensively minded. He had great catch and counter, great parries, and all that cute shit on the inside. And look, I'm gonna be honest. That shit wasn't gonna work with Artur.
Artur would have stopped Ward.
No, that shit
Artur
was
would have
not
stopped
gonna
Ward.
work.
Listen, listen. If you told me, all right, Ward was gonna, all right, no second Kovalev fight, Ward was gonna stay around, defend his titles. First mandatory is Artur. He gets fucking stopped. One, because at that point he was fucking shoulder and leg injury like a motherfucker. You would have got
Hmm.
stopped trying to fight him on the inside. He would have overpowered you. And if it did somehow get by him, bro, Bivol would have fucking outboxed your head off from the outside and made you look stupid.
People not
He gets
comfortable
his fucking.
hearing that.
He gets his.
People,
He gets his coins taken by Bivol and Baturbiev at that point, and at any point.
if he tells you, because when you retire, I don't care how anybody wants to dress it up. When you say that I'm gonna call it a career, right? That tells me that your body is breaking down. Even if you don't tell me that, that is what you're telling me, that your body doesn't want to do this anymore. So
He
you
did
got
say
a
it too,
Ward,
though.
32 years old. He wasn't old. He was when he retired, he's literally younger than Canelo is now. Younger, right? At
Did he make?
32, at 32, your body is breaking down. Bivol and Better Beef would have got you. Yeah, they
Hell
Did
would
yeah.
have. They would
did
have
he
got you.
have? Did he even make enough money, like big enough fights, like
No.
to retire? I mean, there's no way that dude had. I mean, I know he's on ESPN and he was doing sportscasting. But I
No,
don't,
sir. That
I
pay
don't,
per view lost money,
Oh
villain.
my
It
yeah,
God,
I
lost
don't
they
think
money.
gave
there's
dude.
nothing I
They
can
gave
remember where he made big money. I can't remember a time he did.
Okay,
He made wasn't that the
I
Kovalev fight? It
want
was
to
like
say
$6
this.
million.
Look, if you're talking about Andrew Ward and his boxing style, after the first Kovalev fight, I told to myself, I don't want to see this guy fight anymore. I
Mm.
don't. And the problem is when you enter the fucking tournament in the super middleweight division to win all those titles, and you got Froch and you got all those guys. Okay, that was a tournament. Those guys were not gonna fight you voluntarily, and you got the Kovalev fight via mandatory. That's the only fight you could get. You're not gonna make a fucking unification because at any point of your career you didn't win any fucking money to tempt another champion to unify with you. So that Adonis Stevenson fight was never going to happen because Adonis Stevenson wasn't fighting shit, and
No,
it
no.
wasn't going to.
I'll tell you what. I'll tell you why it could have happened, Leo. If you make the sacrifices, which we all know Ward was not going to make, he always must stay in Oakland. You don't want to go nowhere. You didn't want to go to Canada for Butte. You damn sure wasn't going to do it for Stevenson.
hell
And
no.
therein lies the problem.
But Adonis wasn't unified with Kovalev. So what was the point?
Well,
Adonis,
Kovalev signed both the purse bid. Kovalev signed
what?
both the purse bid, not Adonis. And yeah,
Yeah, but
Adonis was
Say
not.
that again.
Yes,
no,
Adonis was not fighting
wait a
shit.
minute. Bro, I hear you, but here's reality, all right? And most people don't tell the story this way. Yvonne Michelle was not always working with the PBC. You
Right.
will remember that Yvonne Michelle, when upon the PBC's inception, Adonis Stevenson went over there, Elader Alvarez went over there, Artur Betterbeeve went over there. He used to
Right.
be a PBC fighter. Once Yvonne Michelle jumped into bed with the PBC, that's when the Kovalev fight died.
Yep.
That's when that happened.
Yep.
Because there was an effort to do it before that. And
Yep.
the understanding was that it would happen. But
Yep.
when he jumps into bed with Showtime and the PBC, that dies.
Yep.
That's what happened to that fight.
You could see Egis and Kovalev, with Adonis all talking to each other, saying, "Listen, let's make the fight." They were like 50-50. We'll do it in Canada or Russia. It doesn't matter. And then all of a sudden, not a chance.
Exactly.
And it really was a goddamn shame, that fight. And that's why I look at Bivol and Beterbiev like, bro, y'all gotta fight. We can't do this shit twice in 2 generations. We
I
can't
think
do this
they'll
shit
fight.
again, bro.
I think they'll fight.
Yeah, they're gonna fight next year. They're gonna
I
fight.
think
next year.
I think if it's not, I think it'll happen in March or before then for Riyadh season. Because if anybody can make it happen, the honorable Turkey Al Sheikh
Yeah,
can make it
I'm
happen.
not.
And
People.
shout out to you, Turkey Al Sheikh. Don't be
Yes,
afraid to send me
thank
some of
you.
that oil money. I love
Yes.
you, bro.
Thank you, Your Excellency. I keep telling
You're
people,
excellent.
I'm like, listen, like, we're all fed up with these, like, Bivol's dumbass not fighting all year. You know, Artur is fighting, but he's injured. Okay, light heavyweight's been last year it was booming. This year it just completely shit the bed. But I'm listen, Bivol's gonna get his tune up against Quadlik or whatever in January. Artur's
That's
gonna
gonna be a
fight.
boring fight, man.
Yeah, exactly. But it's, you know what? I don't want to see Bivol go into undisputed off a year late. That's no momentum.
And
So
let's pray that Artur doesn't step on a Lego, right, guys?
Yeah, I know, bro.
Yep.
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
Hey guys, quick update. Makabu just got stopped in 3 rounds.
So
Damn.
Gavor is the champ.
Yes, he is.
Who is the
Fucking
champ?
Eddie, send him an offer. Get Opataya unification, bro. Get Opataya unification.
Gavor will do it, all right? Because Gavor
Yeah.
is not worth any money
Nope.
anywhere on this
Go
planet.
fight.
Thank
Go
God,
fight Opa.
because Makabu was
Eddie.
about to held that belt hostage again. He was.
Makubai is dog shit. If that's any.
He's
I watched
ass.
that
He's
fight.
ass.
Hey,
Awful.
Makuba, Makabula. What's that shit on Twitter?
Hey, Julius, Makabuti was about to pull the Felix Sturm again, bro. Camp out.
Bro,
I mean, that's what he did to Machunu 2 times, bro. That's
Yeah,
look
bro.
like y'all robbed that dude 2 times, bro. Y'all
That
really
He
shit
for
did.
sure didn't win that second fight. I
Man,
saw that. He for sure didn't win that.
man, Machuno becoming a champion again. That would have been an Usyk win that age well. For fuck's sake.
So, I'll say this: a cruiserweight, even though obviously Americans historically don't watch it, I really love the state of this division because what we might get next year if Ryan Rositsky takes care of business in December. I was confused. I thought the fight was tonight. He's fighting December 2nd. He's fighting Durudola. You guys, if you know your cruiserweights,
Yes,
you'll know
yes.
Durudola. Uh,
Duradora.
if he wins, he comes close to fighting Gavor. All right. And Zerto is in that mix, whether he wants to be or not.
Yep,
He's in that.
WBA.
Like, you in that shit, bruh.
He's got to go for that WBA belt. He has to.
He fucking better. Because
Hey,
they'll.
listen, man. If you tell me that the champion list is gonna be Opataya, Serta with the BA, I mean maybe
Bro,
CBS
you
loses
think he
to.
beats that French guy?
I
I
think the
don't know
French guy
about
might get. I think he might get got beforehand. To be honest,
by who? Oh,
somebody I
wait a
don't
minute.
know.
He fighting Dorticos. That's right.
Yeah, I mean Goulamarian might lose to Dorticos. Yeah, he might lose to
Right.
Dorticos. And if you're telling me it's Zurdo versus Dorticos, I got Zurdo. Dorticos old
Ye-
as fuck.
What?
no, no,
Oh,
wait a minute.
because he's
Wait.
old.
Y'all feel
Okay.
that way? Y'all feel that way?
I don't know about that.
I
I mean,
think
how
Zurdo
old
beats.
is
I
Dorticos?
listen. I'm saying Zurdo beats Dorticos. It's gonna be an ugly fight, but Zurdo will get a
I
decision.
don't know about all
Bro, it's
that,
gonna be it's
bro.
gonna be Zurdo versus Dorticos in the
Do you
U.S.
see how
in a
Zerto
foreign
just
fight.
looked with it? Do you see how
With Joe
Zerto just
Smith,
looked with Joe?
look
Did
pretty
you just see?
good.
Did you see Dorticos' last fight?
What?
He didn't look good his last fight.
He
And he
But
did
who
not
was he
lost.
look.
fighting though? Was he
Shout
fighting a
out to
light heavyweight or
Hans.
a cruiserweight?
Y'all think Bivol can hang with Jai in there? Your
No.
Oh
honest
man,
opinion? No.
Jai
No.
is a violent motherfucker. I don't think so.
Jai,
My guy
Jai,
Hans,
I gotta shoot
Morales,
my
stand
man
up.
Mirage a link. I gotta shoot my man Mirage a link. Please, Mirage, please, for God's sake, no David Benavidez talk tonight. I just want to hear your voice, bro. But I don't
Man,
want to hear about David
Pause.
Benavidez.
Opataya
No,
will do good.
not pause. I said that to make y'all uncomfortable. And I'm gonna say more shit that makes y'all uncomfortable, bro.
Man,
Because you gotta
Op-
keep it long and thick out here, bro.
Julius, want me to say some uncomfortable shit?
Uncomfortable shit.
Opataya puts girth in Bivol, man.
Yo, he beats the shit like no cap though. He would beat the shit out of
Yeah, that's
Bivol.
I don't. I mean, if Bivol
I
told
don't
me to
have
go
any
cruiserweight,
illusions about
like,
that.
I mean,
I don't
listen,
have any
bro.
illusions about that shit,
Yeah,
bro.
I
if
mean,
Zerto was
Opata
to
is
get,
basically Bivol with more power.
man,
It's a good parallel. Good parallel.
if um, if Zerto was to get that BA belt, I can easily see Bivol going up there to get Zerto.
Yeah, I'm just gonna tell you that I'm not convinced that Zerto beats the Frenchman. I'm
I'm
not
not.
convinced.
He's losing to Dorticos. I'm telling you. I think it
All
goes to
right, I'm
Dorticos.
not convinced, bro. If Dorticos ain't gotta hit you but one time, bro. Really though,
Yeah,
you
I mean, listen,
telling me
I'm
that
not.
Dorticos won't land on Zerto?
No, I mean, I don't. I'm not completely confident in it, but I can see it. I can see Zerto maybe favorite to a decision, getting something.
I
I
don't
can
know
see
about
it.
all that shit. Now look, I'm gonna let Mirage sing songs of glory. I'm gonna go grab my coffee.
Oh man, Mirage is on the panel.
Yeah,
What's up? What's up,
whoever's got
ladies
their
and gentlemen?
volume up, whoever's got
What's
their
up, Mr.
volume up, turn that
Mirage?
shit down and don't get me in trouble.
What's up,
Mirage,
Mr.
if that's
Mirage?
you, you got to
Welcome
turn it
back.
down.
Not much, man. Just been listening to you guys do a bit of cooking. Just chilling out. I've been cooking some of the clowns in chat as well.
What time is it
Yeah,
down there in the in Australia?
2 p.m. 2 p.m.
Two.
I tuned into this card with this Goodall guy. I don't even know who he is, man. This Goodall guy. I don't know. Is he any good?
Which
I
card are you
wouldn't
talking
know.
about?
Oh, he knocked out Stephen Shaw, so he's probably all right at least.
The Ajagba Goodall fight.
Oh
I'm
yeah,
going to tune in for
He
that.
beat Stephen Shaw. It was an upset, so that's why he's on this card. If they probably were going to step up Shaw versus Ajagba, but he beat Ajagba, or he beat Shaw in Oklahoma earlier this year. I want to say it was maybe in March. It was on the Cambosos card. He upset Shaw, and that's why he's getting this fight.
Mm-hmm.
It ought to be
It might be
interesting.
entertaining. Might be entertaining at least.
Yeah, for a minute.
Yeah.
I
I'll take a
dislike
minute's worth of
Ajagba. I'm
entertainment.
sorry, man. I think he's one of the. I'm not gonna say the most overrated because I don't think anybody rates him anymore. But it's just one of those guys. When I hear his name, I kind of just like turn away. It's not.
Well,
I
with
don't think he's
certain
any good.
fighters, he's good because he can use his power. But like against somebody who has skills, like when he fought Frankie Sanchez, he got embarrassed.
I don't know. He didn't even look good in his last fight, though. In my opinion, he was just low blowing the guy a lot, and eventually they
Oh, you
counted the
talking
other
about the
guys low blow for
DQ?
some reason.
The
Yeah,
dude
yeah, yeah.
from like Kazakhstan. Yeah, that was I
Yeah.
was at that fight. That shit was fucking lame as fuck. It lame. It was dirty. It just was a very very ugly fight to watch. It wasn't
So honestly, I
entertaining.
might pick Goodall. I'm not even gonna lie to you.
Well, Goodall's got some skills. I mean, I think Shaw's overrated, but he looked pretty good against him. Ajagba, he's just too basic. Doesn't put a lot of combinations together. Then unfortunately, he can be found out. That's Sanchez embarrassed him. Kind of like what Country just said. He's got power though, so if he can hit you, he can. If he lands, he can get you out. But he's a pretty generic, come forward, uh, plotting heavyweight.
So who was shitting on Nagano? I heard somebody saying, "Oh, Nagano looked like crap." Who was that? Was that
Nobody here.
What? What do you mean?
sure
What do you mean
sure
exactly?
somebody said
Because
that.
I was saying some stuff. I was saying that
No,
his punches
honest,
were
nobody here
looking kind
said
of
that.
bad. That's about it for me.
No,
That's
Well,
there
there's
was
not
somebody
really
on.
much to what's there to shit on. The guy's had one fight against
Yeah, I mean,
Tyson Fury. You just crawled out of a bar. I mean, there's not really much to go off of. I mean, he looked better than I expected him to, but you
But he looked
had
good. Actually looked. He looked like a.
yeah, he
If
looked better
nobody
than
would
I
have told
expected for
you
sure.
that
Yeah,
he's an
I
MMA
agree.
fighter, nobody would have known
No, I
that he
give him
wasn't a
credit because
professional
I would have
boxer,
known.
right?
I'm not. This is the stuff I'm talking. I think you might be talking about me. Then I did not go that far. The dude was better than I thought. But yeah, no, I could see the issues with you being a boxer, especially later in the
well,
fight.
but
apparently
he's
he
not a
trained.
boxer.
Apparently he trained in boxing before, though. I mean, he didn't fight professionally or anything.
In the gym,
But
yeah, gym growing
Kickboxer.
up.
I
Can,
don't.
yeah,
can we at
so I
least
mean,
can
he
we
knew a little something, obviously.
can we at least agree that he's no worse than like a top 25 dude who goes in there? I mean, he doesn't look like a world champion, but if you told me he was ranked 27th in the world, I'd be like, okay. I mean,
If he
uh,
was ranked 10th,
Yeah.
I mean,
Nah.
Look,
he looks more of a boxer than fucking Dylan White, who can't even get his balance correct.
Dylan White
To
is fucking
me,
overrated. I don't give a fuck
yeah,
what
but
anybody
Dylan White was
says.
rated like top 5 for like a long
Dylan
time.
White is overrated. I've never been high
no,
on that
it's
dude.
not.
He even
It's
looked
not that.
technically better than Dylan White to me. Even
It's
technically, he
not
looked.
that much. It's not that because if you spend 2 fucking years fighting fucking everyone in the WBC rankings and you get knocked down like 50 times, okay, at the end of your career, you're not gonna look that good. I'm not. I'm not saying that every fucking heavyweight or every fucking boxer has to be a stylish boxer with pure fundamentals. It's not how professional boxing is.
Especially
But
heavyweight, yeah, especially heavyweight.
yeah,
You'll find the
but
most flaws.
Dylan White spends too much time in the WBC rankings waiting for a fucking title shot. He has to he fought fucking everyone in the WBC rankings. Nobody, not even the champion, Deontay Wilder, not even Tyson Fury has fought so many top 10 guys in the WBC as Dylan White. That's the
Leo,
reason.
Leo, you would agree that he got fucked over by the WC because Wilder being the champion, they didn't want him anywhere near Wilder, and Wilder didn't want to fight him. So in that
The
in that
WBC, the WBC is a fucking joke.
yeah, in that
It's a
sense, he
fucking
got
joke.
he got fucked big time by the WBC. I think he was at one point in time he was over 1,000 days that he was supposed to be the mandatory, and that's criminal. A guy who had 900 and something days as a mandatory,
You talking about
and fucking
Dillian?
Wilder never fought him. That's criminal.
But see, this is the other thing. I'll say this much. I believe that to a degree, the fighters are the ones to blame because you entertain them. And the time that you were waiting for Wilder, if you would have just went another route and positioned yourself with someone else, you would have got there because the IBF are quicker to order a mandatory than the WBC. The WBO are too, and in some instances, the WBA. So when you look at Dillian, I agree with you. It's criminal. And when you look at Carlos Adames, yeah, it's criminal. But you're boo boo the fool for paying these people because every time you fight, and I talked about this 2 lives ago, every time you fight, they're taking about 3% of your purse. So yeah, that doesn't sound a lot to me and you, but when you add in all the other expenses,
It's a
they
lot of
have their
money.
hand in your cookie jar, and for what? So that they don't order the fucking fight?
I
Well,
think
I
Julius,
agree.
there is a reason why the WBC has let let's go. Sean Porter, I mean Kenny Porter talked about this a long time ago because Sean Porter was going to be inducing the IBF rankings at first place, but they told him he had to fight top 50 guy in his first professional fight, and Kenny Porter said, "Fuck that! I'm not gonna let my boy that's gonna debut in the professional boxing fight a guy that has like 50 fights. No, that's not gonna happen. So he went to the WBC and he fought a fucking bomb that nobody cares about, and he got a ranking in the WBC. That's the reason. That's why some of the fighters go to the
I see your
WBC because
point.
it's easier.
It's
That,
easier to achieve a rank. It's easier to achieve, and we see that with Ngannou. We see that with Jake Paul. Remember, they offered Jake Paul a rank if he won the Fury fight. He didn't win the fight, but you know, if he would have won, they were literally going to rank him, right?
I
And
just want.
they, go ahead,
Well,
go ahead.
I want to push back on just one thing you said, because you said that he, instead of sitting there fighting those guys that he's supposed to fight, he should just go a different route. My pushback or argument to that is if you're doing everything correct, if you're doing what they expect of you and you're paying the purse, then then you should be able to hold their feet to the fire. I mean, it just proves to me that how fucked up in boxing can be is I'm doing everything you asked of me. I'm on 900 something days here. I'm fighting everybody you want me to fight. I'm paying my dues. I'm working within the
Here's
byline.
the thing, Villain. In 20, it was either 2017 or 2018. I believe it was 2018, towards the end of 2017, going into 2018, right? At this time, Wilder has taken care of Stavern, I believe it was, for the second time, right? He was the mandatory for those that don't know. Behind him was Dillian White, right? He was ranked at number 1 after Stavern got knocked off. Uh, Dominic Brazil was ranked either at number 6 or number 4. I believe it was number 6, then number 4. When you saw in 2018 that they gave him the mandatory spot, in spite of you being ranked ahead of him, that's when you should have been like, yeah, fuck y'all.
Yeah, because he fought Luis Ortiz a couple times too after the fact. I'm not disagreeing with that, but you never saw him ever be vocal about it. He should have been fucking pissed off and say,
No, he
hey,
was. He was. I did videos. He was vocal about it.
he
Like,
didn't
he
seem
let his
vocal
feel.
enough. I mean,
But you can't. The
you're right.
thing
I
is,
agree with you.
Dillian is a 7-figure fighter. So 3% of a 7-figure fighter's purse is a lot of money that you're paying out so that they don't order the fight. So look at what Canelo did when they tried to. Bro, I don't need y'all. Y'all need me. And I didn't
Yeah.
look at it that way in the beginning. I thought, oh, this. But then I thought, I'm like, yeah, you got to check them that the money, y'all need what I got. You know, I'll decide when your belt is important to me, because the meantime, you want me to have 5-6 fights. I'm a contender. I'm going up the ranks. You trying to get paid off of all them fights. That's what you
You're
doing. That's the grift.
You're right. If they put Brazier in there instead, then Dillian White should have basically gone in and said, "Okay, here's my interim belt, or here's my number 1 ranking. Fuck you, I ain't fighting anymore." And he should.
Exactly.
You're right.
Because
That is true, because you're right. He did. I remember that fight because I remember how many casuals went crazy when he knocked him out. I'm like, this dude is a nobody. I have no idea why he's so excited that he beat this dude up. Brazier, he's got a glass chin. So yeah, he knocked him out, big deal. But you're absolutely correct. If he should have gone in to the WBC, stuck his middle finger in their face and go, okay, you're fucking me for the last time. I'm out of here. So that's true.
yeah,
I
like
agree.
that's the stance you have to take,
okay,
because what they want to do is they want to string you along so that every time you get out there, they get a piece of the action.
okay, but okay, you cannot do that with fucking Dillian White because at the age of fight, he fought fucking everyone. He really fucking.
I don't disagree with you, but do you tell me if the end game was ending up fighting Fury instead of
No, I'm not.
Wilder?
I'm not talking about that. I agree with you with that. You cannot say Dylan White is fucking trash because he fought fucking everyone in the W.
I'm not saying he's
Mostly
no
I
no.
said
I'm
I
No,
said he's
that was when you were
overrated. I
not
Dylan is
here.
called
That's
him
when you were not
overrated.
overrated.
here. That's when you're not
I
here.
called him overrated.
all I can say in the case of Dillian White is that you enabled that situation. That doesn't make the WBC right. It doesn't make them right. But the thing is, the choice was yours to keep going that route. It was your choice. Whenever you fight, and he did fight, which is the travesty, he fought a lot of people, right? That's a lot of money that went to the WBC for a fight that they're not ordering. So you have to simplify. Why am I paying these people so I can have a rank with the WBC? And why do I want to rank with the WBC so that one day they'll order the fight? And are they ordering the fight? No, it's been 2 years already. It's been a year, 2 years.
It was
3
like
years.
900 something days before he actually fought Fury. It was like over 3 years or close to 3 years.
Exactly. So at some point, before it gets 3 years, before you've invested more and more, you gotta, yeah, fuck this, bro. Fuck you and fuck this, bro. I'm not gonna keep paying y'all until the fighters take the power back, because I think the fighters and the managers, maybe they don't always know, or maybe they just go through the motions, or maybe there's even more chicanery than we realize. But understand, it's the fighters that are paying these people, bro. That's where the money's coming from. The TV network goes into making the fights, which pay the fighters, and the fighters pay the WBC. So if you cocksucking pricks are not going to order these fights because of whatever you got going on, then you don't need my money. Adames, you should not be paying them. Your purses is not that big anyway. The fuck you giving what little bit of money you making away to them so that Jermall Charlo, he still keeps the belt. He's about to fight Jose this month. Y'all still not ordering the fight. But if Adames gets out there and fights, you will collect the sanctioning fee.
Look, there is a similar between what happened to Dillian White and what's already happened with Carlos Adames. In the fact that they have an interim champion that is effectively defending the title against the top opponents that the real champion should be fighting.
Yes.
That happens because Carlos Adames, I will not be surprised that he goes again with another top WBC contender. Meanwhile, Germán Charlo is doing I don't know what.
He's fighting Jose. It's a slap in the face that you take, because here he is. They're not telling you what the fuck is wrong with him, because in all actuality, nothing is wrong with him. You've been using drugs. That's what it is. If I had to guess what's wrong with Jermell, you've been using drugs, bro. You have. If it's something, it's not mental health. I don't want to hear about mental health. You are a substance abuser. And you using whatever you've been using is not a reason for me to not get my shot. That's literally y'all job, is to move these ranks. Bitch, if you ain't gonna move them, then I could have went the WBO route. I would have got my shot by now. So till the fighters stop paying these people, that's really what it is. Till the fighters stop paying these people, it's gonna keep happening.
Well, Jules, can I put like a counterpoint here? And it's I guess it's possibly what you said before. I mean, realistically, there's a couple things. The first thing being, Carlos Adames is with the PBC right now. I don't know how Al is on trying to go for other sanctioning bodies that don't include guys in this promotion. And the second thing might be, maybe the WBC has some weird shit where they're just like, all right, bro, you don't want our title shot? Fine, we'll replace you. And you won't be getting a title shot for anybody for a minute.
I don't agree with that necessarily, because the WBC does not hold sway over the others. There's plenty of times that Paco spoke out about, all their cockamamie little belts they like to come up with. And if you go through the WBO and you're paying your fees and you're fighting where when and where and who you need to fight, you'll get the shot, bro. You'll get the shot, And also, I wonder about the deal structure, because I've long maintained that you have managers that are supposed to be working for fighters that are working with Al. That is a conflict of interest. You can't have my best interests in mind if you're arranging things with him. You're supposed to be the buffer between me and him that gets me the best deal. And if I'm not getting what I need with Al, then shouldn't we go elsewhere? Shouldn't we leave?
Look, if we are talking about Dylan White has made a lot of money in his career.
Paid a lot of sanctioning fees.
Yeah, and he's a draw. But look at this shit. Dylan White in his professional career fought without a fucking world title. Alexander Povetkin, Oscar Rivas, Derek Chisora, Joseph Parker, Lucas Brown. Meanwhile, Wilder was mandated to fight fucking Dominic Brazil and fucking Bermez debate. It's a fucking travesty.
It is.
It doesn't make any fucking sense.
But what can be done to change it? Nothing. That's the point that it's not that it's not a travesty. It's that identifying it as a travesty doesn't change the situation. It still happened. It's literally still happening. And if you want it to stop happening, then stop paying these motherfuckers. Stop doing it. You are paying them for a rank to get a fight that you not gonna get. If you Frankie Sanchez and you paying these, all right, well, you're a fucking idiot. If you're Aslanbek Makhmudov, and bro, Wilder has been number one for about 3 years. 3 years, bro. After he lost the WBC, they
He
put
hasn't
him.
won a fight in 4 years. He hasn't won a fight in 4. No, I'm sorry. Wait.
No, he's
Before,
won one
he won
fight
one
in
fight. I'm sorry,
4
one fight in
years.
4 years. That's correct. One fucking win in 4 years against a has-been Robert Hernandez.
You literally see that he's been at number one for 3. Like, bro, he doesn't even fight that often. How? He hasn't fought all. He hasn't fought this whole year. He's number one. But when you get out there, you're gonna pay the WBC to give you a belt, and they're not gonna order a fight between you and him or you and Fury. So what are you paying for? What are you
Jules,
paying for?
I was gonna ask, what's it
Corruption.
called? The fight between Charlo and Jose, is that for a title or is that a non-title
No,
belt?
title's not even on the line.
That's also a
Okay.
travesty.
I just wanted to make sure because I was about to see like, nah, at that point, that's insane.
But
It's
even
insane
even with
anyways.
the way it is, it's like, bro, this dude is literally about to have a fight with another guy. I'm right here. You're gonna let him have a fight with another guy, and I'm right here. Nah, y'all don't need my money, bro. See, and what ends up happening is they'll do this for such a long time that they feel like they can't pull out. Like, well, I can't back out now. You know, I mean, I'm closer now than I was 50 years ago, right? It's like, come on, bro. Like, till the fighters take the power back from the sanctioning bodies, some of which are not even doing the job they're supposed to do, it's just gonna keep going on. It is because you're letting it. I'm gonna grab my coffee, gentlemen.
I mean, basically, all they're doing is paying for corruption. You know, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Well, it's just
Yeah, because I remember what's it called? Literally, a lot of people were complaining when Shakur got ordered to fight Devin, and I was like, I'm not saying that this is wrong, but it is kind of crazy that you guys magically learned how to do your job for like 1 week.
I mean, the thing is, let's be honest. The biggest problem, or one of the biggest problems in boxing, is that promoters have way the fuck too much control. If these sanctioning bodies were actually separate, away, and they weren't working with these promotional companies, there'd be a lot of unhappy promotional outfits, but they would be a lot better for the fighters and for the fans because they would force them to make fights that fair fights. A guy like Dillian White would have got the fight much sooner. Wilder right now wouldn't be ranked. Wilder's only ranked in the position he is because I assume he's got nude photographs of half the people on the WC.
Actually,
There's
I
no
heard that
way.
Ruiz got dropped from rankings. By the way.
Well, yeah, but I mean, how many losses can you have, or how many poor showings can you have? I mean, what he lost twice to Wilder. He lost to who he lost to Ruiz. I mean, 3 losses. If he
No,
did
I
get
said
dropped,
Andy Ruiz got dropped, not what's it called, Luis Ortiz.
well, again, which is also, well, I mean, yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, how are you going to do that? You got one guy who's just as inactive as the other. Why is one guy still ranked number one, and why is the other guy not even, ranked anymore?
Look,
It's
you have to
they just
ask
play
yourself
they,
if in
they
the
play
last 12
favorites.
months, right, you got 2 former champions, really 3, but let's just say 2. If in the last 12 months, let's say Anthony has fought 2 times and won 2 times in the last 12 months, and Wilder literally in the last 12 months hasn't fought. You didn't fight since October of last year. We're November now, so it's been
It was
12
2
months. You haven't
rounds. That was literally 4.5
2,
minutes.
right? And you still have him at number 1. You don't even have Anthony at number 1, who's been fighting. You still have Wilder at number 1, who is less active practically than everyone else in your ranks. The only guy who's as inactive as Wilder is Andy, but Frankie Sanchez, Makhmudov, and go down the list. All those other guys are literally fighting. You then have to be like, well, why am I paying these people again?
That's just
These
proof of corruption. I mean, literally, What else could it be? I mean, it's just such a one-sided affair. And when he was the champion, they treat him with kid gloves. So after he loses the fight, and then they're still treat him with kid gloves. I mean, it's clearly biasness.
It is, and when you continue to pay them, it enables that. The word for it, which is my favorite word, is chicanery. You're manipulating the rank standings. Your function is to move those rank standings along to ensure that the contenders get a shot. You're literally doing the opposite of that.
I mean, that's literally your job. That's your whole job.
When Wilder and Andy cannot negotiate terms for a fight, it's not supposed to stop there. There are literally other people, plenty of other people under them that you could have ordered a fight with them. You don't want to order a fight with them. You literally don't want them to get the shot, but you want their money though. You want their money though. When they fight, you want a sanctioning fee to sanction it so you can reflect the outcome that you don't actually reflect because the ranks don't move. So really, you just getting money for nothing, for absolutely nothing. And it's insane. And this is the shit. Once again, now, if they told you, country, if they told you, yo, the WBC just ordered a fight between Arslanbek Makhmudov and Deontay Wilder, you wouldn't watch it?
No, I'd watch it, yeah, because, I mean, but those governing bodies are not doing their jobs, and what's even worse is, and Jules, because I showed it to you earlier today, they're doing janky ass shit. The WBC says they advertise it on Facebook that you can become a part of the family, and they have membership levels, gold, platinum, with benefits.
And this is a non-profit.
Yeah.
Oh, wait.
Non-profit.
Well, no, here's the kicker. Who do they have when you go to the other page to look at it? Who's on the page? But Fury.
Telling you, like, and what enables, enables all of it, what you saw with Canelo, which I bashed him for it years ago, but hindsight is 2020. I feel like more fighters should do that. Don't forget who the money comes from. The money doesn't come from the World Boxing Council. The money you need comes from me. It doesn't even come from the fans per se. It comes from my purse. That's where the money you need comes from. And if you're not going to do what the fuck you're going to do, then you don't get any money. And if enough fighters start to do that, yeah, you'll straighten up because that's what you did with Canelo, isn't it? When you tried to bother Canelo, regardless of how we feel about it, he told Jock, well, you can fucking go to hell. And I don't want no wheat show belt because, they tried to sneak into the party. No, I don't need no wheat show belt, bro. I don't care who made that shit. I don't got nothing against them. But y'all not going to crash my party. We all know why you here. We all know why you trying to get in the Chavez fight. You trying to get back. Yeah, I don't need y'all involved with my shit. All right? That'll get them. They've been playing nice ever since.
Hey, Jules. Lennox was best is asking, do they have to pay fees on the franchise and silver belts also? Like the secondary belt?
On the silver they do. On the franchise, I'm not sure. But if I had to guess, yes.
They're
not giving you a special designation for free, bro. They don't even give away replica belts for free. They're not going to give you that designation unless you pay for it. And I'm fairly confident to even petition for it. I am fairly confident you have to pay a fee.
Not even
what about the interim?
Say it again, Jay.
What about the interim?
Yeah, you have to pay a sanctioning fee for that too. The
Black
international, the silver, the Black Lives Matter, the Blue Lives Matter, the All Lives Matter belt, the Stop Asian Hate belt,
the Mayan belt.
The Mayan belt, the Azteca belt,
the Pearl belt,
people versus against sexual abuse,
the Roe versus Wade belt. They got that belt.
The Union Jack belt.
The Union Jack belt.
Bro, it sounds like the DMV. It sounds like the DMV. They're gonna get you every which way.
They literally come out with a belt for every occasion, bro. Literally, it's not even us making it up.
Kwanzaa the day before Christmas Eve belt.
Kwanzaa, they got the Kwanzaa belt.
Do you think that we're talking about boxers making deals with promotional companies and TV networks, do you think they negotiate some kind of
Yes.
clause? I
Yes.
mean, some kind of clause depending of the ranking or depending of the.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely, I do. If your contention is that the World Boxing Council has an arrangement with certain promotional
No, no,
outfits
no,
to
no, no,
feature, go
no, no,
ahead.
no. I'm talking about the boxer negotiates a deal with the promoter saying, if I get this ranking or get this interim title or world title, I am entitled to more money.
Oh no. Yeah, like that's more simple. That is more simple. Like the most obvious case of a fighter who's not worth a lot of money, who ended up getting a lot more money or was supposed to as a result of winning a belt, is Eleider Alvarez. His guaranteed minimum via his contract was increased to $1 million a fight, so long as he was WBO champion, with the stipulation that if he loses the belt, it gets renegotiated. And we know that he lost the belt. He lost it in the Kovalev rematch. And yeah, if you win a belt, you get more money, aside from, whatever you can draw, where you can draw all that stuff. But you do get more money once you become a champion. You do, The
Whatever
shit
happened to
is,
Leader Alvarez? Did he retire?
he retired. I think he get retired after, wasn't it after Joe beat the shit out of
Yeah,
him?
he knocked knocked him out. He ain't fought since.
I don't think
That
he
was
fought
it. Yeah.
since that. I don't think he fought since that.
We
I wonder
got
if that applies with interim championship.
No, it does. It absolutely does. Oh wait, you're saying can the contract be? I don't. Now in that situation, I don't think a promoter is paying a fighter extra for being an interim champion. That's saying that we would think that that Carlos Adames is getting a little
no,
because he's got an interim.
no.
Nah, I don't believe
Maybe
that.
they. Do you think they might pay him extra to not fight Charlo?
Probably, yeah. That's more realistic.
What I
Like, oh, to keep
what?
that
No,
interim
no,
belt, don't have
nah.
anybody
What,
touch it, bro. Let me give you an extra. I don't know,
bro?
some extra bucks to just not fight him.
Bro, what's more likely that they're paying the WBC to not order the fight, or that Carlos and his low ass purses is paying extra?
The first option.
Come on, we know Carlos ain't making no fucking money, bro. Come on now,
You
we
know what
know
else
he
we
ain't
know?
making
What's
no
it called?
money.
Didn't you
You
say
know
when
what
he
else
went
we
on with
know?
Broadway
You know what else
Joel,
we know?
like,
There's 160 people in here. We got 62 likes. Let's fucking get the likes up right now.
Okay.
but what's
Oh,
Yeah,
it
get
hold
the
called?
on.
likes up, like and subscribe, yo.
Yeah,
Yeah, the
let's
beer is
go.
beering.
Didn't
Yeah,
you say
Beer is
like that one
beering.
time Broadway Joel brought
I'm
like two of
making
them onto his
I'm
face?
making
He didn't say anything.
$0, but my kids got to eat off them
Yeah, my kids gotta
$0.
eat, bro.
Yeah,
Off of
let's
the
hit the
zero
like
money.
button.
All right. I did see when Broadway Joel had him on, and that's where I drew my perspective that many of the fighters are complacent with the chicanery, because when Mauricio came on, it's not like Carlos gave him a piece of his mind. He didn't. He didn't. He was like, oh, you know, you going along with it. It's almost like you're taking marching orders from them when that's not how this works or not how it should work. And if the fighters aren't going to look out for their own best interests and the managers aren't going to look out for their own best interests, well, that's what creates the environment that we're in. Why should my fighter give you any percentage, even if it's just 3% of their purse, when you're not going to order any of the fights? You're not, though. If you're in the WBC's ranks and you're a heavyweight, yo, you literally been wasting your time. Literally, it's not me exaggerating or talking it up. No, literally, you're wasting your time. Wilder's been number one all these years. They're not going to order any of you to fight him except for Andy. You're wasting your time. But when you get out there on Eye of the Tiger Management or a PBC show or whoever, and you get out there, they're going to take their fee, though. Yeah, because you're letting them. If you told, hey, fuck off, I'm going to WBO route, fuck off,
Hey, quick,
I'd
can I ask
sooner
a
give it
question
to
though to the
them.
panel?
Good.
Who do you guys think has done it worse, bro? Are we saying like the WBC now is the most corrupt organization that we've had in a while, or is it still beaten by WBA that was taking Machado's belt for no reason?
I would say that the WBA, while having been more redundant, right? Some of the most egregious acts that highlight corruption have actually been the WBC. When you consider what they did to Rochigliani, right?
Yep, I remember
He
that.
he literally won the belt, right? Roy says, I'm moving up. Belt goes vacant. Rochigliani fights for the vacant title, wins it. As soon
Yeah,
as
who's
Roy
that
moves
fighting, bro?
back down, they literally take the belt from Rochigliani and
Give it to
give
Roy.
it to Roy after he won it.
Remember their excuse too? That shit was hilarious. They said, "Ah, nah, we didn't mean for that to happen. We meant for it to be an interim."
Fucking shit.
It's like a tape
Yo,
back.
yo,
Now fast forward. That's
Yeah.
egregious. Dillian White waiting for a title shot for 3 years. Ultra egregious. Carlos
Cover.
Adames is interim champion right now. You are literally allowing Charlo to fight someone else.
For
No
not
pressure,
even the belt.
Charlo. No pressure. You just do what you want to do. So
They're getting kicked back to logjam the divisions.
They
yeah,
have to.
yeah. So
Like
even
they
though the
haven't.
WBA does a lot of dumb shit, but some of the most
Yeah.
egregious and some of the bigger travesties are actually the WBC. It's not even a coincidence that they are sister organizations. That if any of the two work closely together, it's those two. It's those two, Gilberto and Mauricio.
wait a minute though. How long do you think is gonna happen though? Because Al doesn't have a network no more. So is WC even gonna be really like interested in like keeping this shit up?
Depends on
Well,
what they can make
depends
happen.
on what happens if they can, if so long as Al can, because you want my opinion, wholeheartedly, unbridled, unfiltered. He's been paying him kickbacks. Short answer. If he can no longer do that, someone else will become the priority. Very simple.
Are
You're
you saying
Yeah,
the WBC is
and
corrupt? Is that what you're saying? There's any
that's
way that
exa-
there's corruption?
and at
That
this
I don't
point,
believe that. How could that
you
be?
have to understand something. If Al Heyman is doing this now, is trying to negotiate a deal with another uh, distribution deal, another TV network. If you're doing this now, it's because you're being stubborn. It's all of this. Because if you're talking about business, this is not making any fucking money. It hasn't been
it's
making
not.
any fucking. Any other businessman should have been cutting his losses, selling the fucking PVC to another promotional company. At this point, you're trying to make this work no matter what, and I don't think it's going to work at the end. You're going to keep losing money to
Took the
another people
fucking
and to
words out
yourself.
of my mouth, Leo. You really did. Because anybody else worth their weight in salt would see we're losing money. We have a lot of dead weight. We're operating on a negative. The PBC, go, you don't have to believe anything I say. A lot of you guys are smart. Some of you might even be smarter than me. Go look it up. They operate on a negative. The PBC is not worth any fucking money. Okay? They don't make money. Everything they have been doing is just to keep their head above water. And that's the gist of it. Now, any businessman worth his weight in nose hair would say, well, look, we're doing something wrong because we're not making any fucking money. So maybe what we need to do is, hey, listen, fellas, we're going to cut some of you. No. We'll do it in a way where we don't even tell you that, hey, listen, Keith, this is what we got for you. If you don't like it, you can hit the fucking road. And when you hit the fucking road, hey, that's one less mouth to feed. So we can use those resources for someone who can get us somewhere. You
Yeah.
didn't cut those losses. You literally coddled all of them. Should you be wasting money on Danny Garcia fights in this day and age?
No.
Who the fuck wants to
Ju-
see him?
You know, I just want to say real quick, it's a glaring red flag when in the state of Delaware you have over 50 registered LLCs with the variations of Heyman, Heyman Sports, Heyman LLC, blah blah blah. Like you're dealing with you're playing the shell game if you're giving money to the PVC.
Exactly.
Yo,
You
fellas,
gotta.
real quick. Are you guys watching Raymond Muay fight right now?
Yeah,
He's
Yeah.
Yes,
boxing
sir.
I
Yeah,
beautifully.
am.
we're
Yes,
watching.
Dude,
sir.
this dude is fucking phenomenal. Like
Yeah,
dude,
he's
Torres is
the
like
nice.
a
He's nice.
Torres is like a
the
step behind, man.
the cult following that Frank Martin has for some reason, like Raymond Muay should have that. Like this dude has been nice
Absolutely.
for a minute, but he has like almost no following. It's kind of crazy. But I
Give
think
him time.
he'll
He'll
end up
get
being like I think he's gonna end up being one of Shakur's toughest fights
Yeah,
in the
for
future.
sure.
But literally
I honestly
nobody
think he's
talks
better
about
than
him. It's
Keyshawn right
just
now,
it's
to
so
be
weird.
honest.
Umurataya.
Yeah. No,
No,
I'm
yeah.
gonna be
He's got
honest.
no
I haven't
buzz right
been.
now. They got to put him
Yeah,
in there with a familiar face, bro. Like honestly, they got to put him in there with somebody with a name, and if he stays in character, then they'll talk about him.
Are you saying that
No, they
Diego
should put him. They
Torres
should
is
put him
involved in
against
the Nero?
Pedraza because Keyshawn can't fight him no more.
Yeah, if you're talking about
Right.
PBC
That'd be a good
fighters,
one.
Like that's what I'm saying. Like it's so weird that Keyshawn would have got Pedraza before him. Like
Well, you know,
this dude has been
Keyshawn's
nice
got
for a minute.
they're all in for Keyshawn. He's a blue chip
He's an
prospect.
Olympian,
He's an
though.
Olympian, bro. Like they get the Olympians get the special treatment. They get the red carpet. That's how it is. I'm not even mad at them for that, by the way. I liked that fight before the whole thing about the weed because he didn't do nothing bad. He smoked a little bit of fucking weed. I don't even look at that as the Benavidez shit because the Benavidez shit bro, you lost the title sniffing coke. I would say yes, that's worse than Keyshawn smoking a little bit of weed, a little bit of herb.
It's Texas, man.
Look, if
Isn't
you're
the same thing? Recreational drugs, same shit.
Kind of, but he didn't lose a title as a result of it, bro. You don't want to lose your title because you were fucking off.
But I mean, like in terms of the actions, the same, similar, like
Yeah, I
weed,
get what you
coke,
mean.
whatever.
I get
Similar
what you mean.
action, yes, but worse consequences. Can we say
Yeah.
that?
It's
So,
kinda
Jules, you're
wrong.
talking about the WBC corruption. I just want to agree. Perfect example. Look how long the WBC have let Canelo avoid fighting the number
Here we
one
go.
contender.
Hey, hold
Bro,
on.
He
look,
was
Mirage,
red champion.
Here we go.
no, I'm
How long is this corruption going to keep going?
Let me say
We need to
I
call
want
out
to
this
say it.
corruption,
I want to
man.
say it. I want to say it that I said this to you, Mirage, months ago. I literally told you, you got David fucking around, doing bullshit, and if you think the WBC are gonna strip Canelo to give the belt to him, you got another thing coming, my friend. I told you that, bro. That was months ago. I think it was a year ago, to be honest. You're right. The WBC, they're not gonna, bro. What? Because what kind of fucking moron would take the belt from Canelo to give it to this jackass? He's not gonna sell anything. I told you this, bro.
I mean, yeah,
I
man.
literally said
I don't
all
think it's
this.
going to change. I don't think it's going to change. People are talking about, oh, he mentioned March and all this is going to happen.
Bro,
Yeah, that's
Mirage,
unlikely.
look, we have one thing in common. We both want to see that fight. For what it's worth, I wholeheartedly believe that we will. I do. But you should be worried. And I'm not even saying this to be funny. I'm not trolling you. Word around the campfire is David ain't been looking good in sparring, and Andre has. Gabriel Rosado gave your boy a black eye that he's been running around with, bro.
Is he
So
sparring
you should
Rosado,
be-
really? Why
Yes.
would he be sparring Rosado?
You
Is he a
you asked
southpaw?
me. I don't even listen. Rick
Bro, how do you
Glacier,
not know that you're a David Benavidez fan?
I'm just telling you that no, because that's a valid question too. If you're fighting Andre, why the fuck would you be sparring Rosado? Why don't you get Lerone Richards or somebody? You need a pure boxer, a mover. Well,
Is
that's
Rosado even a southpaw?
no.
Okay, so is that rumor? Do we know that rumor if that's true? Because there's a lot of rumors.
No, it's a good listen. It's a good. I'm just saying the rumor.
Mm.
I heard the rumor before I saw the black eye.
Mm.
So make
Okay.
of that what you will, bro. But he better hold up. And I'm not trolling. I'm being real. You better hold up your end of the bargain because I want Benavidez versus Canelo more than I want Andre versus Canelo.
Yeah, I'm not looking
I can go with either.
overlooking Andrade. Even if he's like he hasn't looked impressive, he's awkward. He brings his own sort of unique sort of whatever attribute. So he's capable of stinking it up and being difficult. So yeah, he needs to beat him, and this would be.
I got money on Andrade.
You got money on Andre? You think he's gonna win that fight?
You're high. I don't know what to tell you.
Yes, I do, bro.
Mirage, you sound nervous.
I am legitimately high. I am actually literally high. But if you, bro, just watch Benavidez, how many fucking times he squares up in a fight. Like Andrade is gonna toy with that
Man,
type of shit.
that's old.
I'm sorry,
That's
but he is.
Bro. Like,
But you need to judge the whole fighter as a package. Everybody talks about how he squares up. It's more than just that.
Dude,
so
no, it's not. It's literally that. Like, he squares up like every
he's
single
been
round.
squaring up
Like,
his whole pro career. And what is he? 27-0 two-time champ. Okay,
My man, he
against
comes forward like
nobody.
SpongeBob,
Against
man. Get the fuck out of
nobody.
here.
Look,
That's
shout out
so-
to
Even against Caleb Plant, he got in trouble because he kept squaring up. Like, there's
Yes.
no,
But it's such
you
a serious
can't argue
flaw.
this.
You're not going to be so successful,
what?
man.
Listen,
No.
listen. Let me read the super chat, fellas. Shout out to Pat's Nation, who says, "What do you think? Two Canelo lottery applicants, Boo Boo and Charlo, losing on the same night to Benavidez Bros. Early Christmas."
Oh, that would be
Yeah, I mean,
hilarious. That would be
no, I mean,
hilarious.
no, and that's the other thing that's the other thing that I saw Warrior Week Radio, and I think you were here for this conversation, Jay. That he was trying to put it on the hardcore fans that Showtime went under and boxing is suffering. He's literally putting it on the hardcore fans. And then I think about Charlo versus Benavidez. Like, are you fucking serious? You literally have a title fight on this same card with a Puerto Rican fighter who is more entertaining, more fun to watch than Charlo, and he's buried on the undercard. And Charlo is the co-main event. And
Like
this is the dumb shit that I'm talking. Like, bro, that fight is not no co-main event. It's not even a
Matias versus Ergashev. Matias Ergashev. That's the co-main. That should be the co-main.
And I'll tell you why it should be the co-main. Because Matias has more time left. He has more to give the sport. Bro, Charlo is almost finished. Why is he the co-main event?
By the way, that's but Matias Ergashev. That's the best. That's gonna be the best fight on the card. I'm telling you now, that's gonna be the best fight.
Bro, Matias might lose that.
Yeah, he might lose that fight. But that's why I think it should be the co-main event.
Bro,
who might lose, Matias?
Yeah.
If Charlo loses,
Ergashev ain't no joke, but I'm still picking
Ergonomics is a decent fighter.
Yeah. If Charlo loses that fight, you could say that his career is over. If he loses to Jose Benavidez Jr.,
Jose Benavidez,
what does he do? I mean, what does he do? Where does his career go after that?
But how is that fight not even a 160? Is it a 164? Is that what someone said?
164. It's at a catch weight. It's at a catch weight.
His ass
so
now,
it doesn't even count as a defense for his title.
No,
so it's going to be 3 years.
The title's not up. It's not up.
Yes, so it's not a defense for his title.
Criminal.
So how is that sanctioned? Why is this being sanctioned?
That's the point that I'm making. That if your Carlos Adames are really any middleweight in their current middleweight rank standings, and these people are literally taking 3% of your purse at a time whenever you fight, think about what that money's not going anywhere, bro, because he's still the champion. They're not going to order a fight between you and him. So what are you actually paying for?
Now, why are you holding that interim title? Why?
And not even just Adames, just anyone in general. That it's like, bro, you don't understand. You're not gonna get the fight, bro. They just taking money from you to be taking money from you. For that, go fight the other fucking guy. Because a big part of the reason that the middleweight division is dead is, bro, Charlo is holding the title hostage. Lara's holding it hostage. He became champion this year, hasn't even fought as a champion yet. Became champion this year. When Gennady vacated the title, they gave it to Lara. Lara has yet to defend it. Welcome to the middleweight division.
What Carlos should do is trash that interim title. Have his people call Bob and tell, hey, what's up with me fighting Yanibet? What's up with your boy?
Exactly.
And then he's got a shot at two. Then he's got a shot at 2 titles and becoming a unified champion.
Same shit I said. Like, yo, dog, you wasting time and you're wasting money. You're right. It's not like Yanibet can't be beaten. He's a relatively limited fighter. I do favor him to beat Adames. I'm not going to lie about that, but it is winnable. Winnable enough that you should try, because you're wasting time, bro. Like, for real, you're wasting time, bro. You really are. And money.
And Muratai is nice, y'all. He nice.
Yeah, Muratai got Skittles. Look at that short hook. You seen that short hook? Short left hook. Another left hook to the body.
Reminds me like Juan. Reminds me of Marquez, man.
You see that? You see how he slipped? That comes over with the uppercut. This guy can fight.
He's good. Oh, he's good.
I like this guy.
Makes
me
me
proud
to
be Mexican, which is saying a lot because I'm Puerto Rican.
Jules.
What Shakur is to defense, I think he is to offense, and at like lightweight, where his ability to like land shots, different combinations, counter punching and pressuring, like to me, he's one of the best offensive fighters in boxing, or at least at lightweight.
I would love to see him versus William Zepeda, man.
Oh yes.
Oh my goodness, the blood.
I favor, based on what I'm saying, I kind of favor Raymond, man.
Yeah, because he's got the in and out. He's got the in and out, and that's what you need.
Wait, so good.
I got a question. Would you guys favor Zayas to take on the middle catchweight Lara.
Yeah, probably at this point. Lara's
You
pretty
talking
old.
about Xander versus Erslandy Lara?
Yeah,
Yeah, I'd
that'll be
favor Zayas to beat him. I
Yeah.
don't think Lara has much left. When's the last time he fought?
The Gary O'Sullivan
Spike
fight,
O'Sullivan, right?
like more than a year ago.
Are you talking about with the mustache? That's the last
Yeah,
time he
Yeah,
fought?
that was the
yeah,
last time he fought.
yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
Wow.
he fought Bronson.
He was
Yo,
pretty
that shit was
immobile
a
too.
minute
Nobody cares
ago,
about Lara.
B.
Nobody cares.
Just send him a contract. Give up that belt. He'll be a middle catchweight champion.
And no, and the other dumb shit. You literally shout out to listen. Michael Zarafa has to be the dumbest man on the planet, by and large.
And he the
You
guy
had
that
the
ducked him.
Bro, you had a chance to have a big old fight with Tim, but Tim was gonna whoop your ass, and we all know that.
Mm-hmm.
But you get a title shot that you don't even deserve with the WBA, and you give it to Danny.
Yeah.
You what, are you a fucking moron, bro?
Who's
Has he
advising
even
this
fought,
guy?
by the way?
Yo, there's this woman singing the national anthem on this Lopez versus Gonzalez fight night card in the zone. She looks fucking hot.
Let me see
shit.
Lopez versus Gonzalez. What's going
I
on
gotta
there?
This
By the
chick,
way,
yeah,
have you guys talked
with the
about
bangs
Edwin
over
versus
over
Shakur?
forehead, man. Listen, man.
Say it again, De Los Santos.
Yeah, have you guys talked about De Los Santos versus Shakur?
I
What about
mean,
it?
we haven't gotten in depth on it yet because it's still a ways up. But go ahead.
Like, I think
Oh,
this could be like when Crawford fought Mean Machine, man. Like, I think because of how they fight and because of their styles, De Los Santos has a really good chance at like actually hurting Shakur.
You see
Because
Shakur
if you
get dropped?
think about it, because I think he could drop him. I think he might drop him or like just buzz him really badly to where like social media will go crazy.
I think
Because if
so.
you look at it, like Shakur is like super aggressive when like he's fighting a southpaw or when he's fighting someone with a high guard. And De Los Santos has both. And he uses his high guard for like traps though, to like set traps. So I can see a scenario where Shakur like he's feeling himself and tries to walk him down and he gets hit by something and like social media will go crazy about it. But in that same token, I think that Shakur is going to be so aggressive that he actually has a good chance of stopping De Los Santos in the fight. So I think it's going to be an interesting narrative over the 12 rounds. Like I see Shakur getting hurt, but winning potentially by stoppage.
I think
What
that's
about
very
you, Moran?
optimistic, man. Shakur by stoppage. I reckon if he feels the power, he's just going to fight very safe because he's only
Oh,
fought
daddy
one
goes.
guy with power
See,
his whole
but
career. I forget his name. That the big tall dude, whatever his name was, and he fought very defensively, like the whole fight, very safe. He just jabbed and
that's
moved. So
true. But you have to think like he's walked down every southpaw he's
What
ever
the
fought.
hell?
They
have
stopped
they
the
been
fight.
threats though?
Yo.
Have those guys been threats?
They stop it?
Yeah, they waved it off. He was fine. He got up. Like
No, he fell
Look,
down
he's
pretty
walking
bad.
that-
He
look,
fell
he's-
down pretty bad.
He
they
kind
could
of
have let it
collapsed
go
a little
on.
bit, but I don't
What?
think it was that bad.
Damn.
Nah.
They could have let it
No,
go
I don't
on.
think he was. It was a
Oh, that
little
was bad.
wobbly, but
Never mind. Yeah, it's bad. I just saw it. Yeah, never mind.
I mean, you got 2 more rounds, man.
Let me
Yeah,
see.
he got up okay. That's strange. He got
He
up
seemed
okay.
fine. He seemed all right.
That was
he
that
was a
was
little bit
funny.
wobbly, but
We get
not
such a
enough.
mix.
He was funny.
Honestly, we get such a mix sometimes with the different refs. Like sometimes certain refs will let it go too long, and the guy's like getting totally fucked up and hurt.
Yeah, I thought he
And
fell.
other
I thought he
times,
fell awkwardly.
too early.
But he got up then. Then he seemed to recover, and he walked across. I mean, that's strange.
He did all the instructions properly. I don't know why he
Yeah.
stopped the fight.
He took his time getting up. He beat the count.
I don't
He
know,
seems
but
like
what's it called?
Seemed like he was
On
okay.
He
He
was
seemed all
hurt
right.
though.
On the Edwin De Los Santos thing, I don't know. Something I kind of
Nah,
noticed about his record, he doesn't really knock guys out late, and a lot of his fights are really early. Like if you look through the first, I want to say, 14.
Oh shit! No wonder
fights,
why he's
maybe,
good. He's got Robert Garcia in his corner. No wonder why he's good.
the dudes knocked everybody out in like the second round.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. It could be like Shakur's Mean Machine fight, where like early he gets buzzed or he gets hit by something, but he ends up walking him down and knocking him out, which a lot of people don't expect.
Yeah, the announce crew for this zone card is very hammered.
But do you
bro.
agree this will be
Hilarious.
Shakur's toughest opponent? Because I think it is.
Yes, maybe. I'd have to
I
see
mean,
it.
Valdez, really? I mean, Valdez was limited. He was a
great
midget.
win, but I think that De Los Santos
He was-
is. I think De Los Santos is top 5 at 135. I do.
Yeah.
But he
He's
just doesn't have
impressive,
the
man. He's
resume. He doesn't
impressive.
fucking fight.
He's impressive to me. He's got the tools, and he showed in his last fight. He's got skills. He's not just a one puncher
De Los Santos?
Yeah,
Yeah,
but he just kind
I'm
of booked
picking
it for like a
Santos
little
upset.
bit.
Anyway,
No, that's not gonna
Okay.
be enough.
I'm not convinced about Shakur. I mean, everybody's on his.
I think
Yeah,
I think
he's
that
But
he's
overhyped.
better
hold
than
on,
Frank Martin.
But this is what I'm talking about. Like,
I think
you're
that at
convinced
the
about
Well,
very
Frank
dangerous,
Martin.
yeah.
Well,
I think
my
that at the very worst, if he feels the power, we get another Nicotila performance. Safety
Wait, but
first.
Yeah,
hold
that's
on.
the
my
Let's
dude. Yeah,
like do
that's
question,
the
this
one I
for a
was talking
But
second.
that's
about.
the
Yeah.
but
thing.
You
If
think people
Nakasula
were
wasn't a southpaw.
Jules, you see the stoppage? Raymond got the stoppage. You see it?
Real nice, real nice.
well,
You see how wait a minute. You see how Shakur gets with southpaws, bro? You really want to play that game?
He's aggressive versus southpaws.
But not every
Yeah.
southpaw
Every
is the
southpaw he's
same.
fought, he's never
They're not
tried
all
to
the
box
same.
or like he never counterpunch. He walked them down the whole fight until he
He's
How's he
not
going to
stopped.
gonna
walk
walk
down a
down
guy
De
who's a
Los
serious
Santos,
puncher, who's got
bro.
speed and is a big puncher?
Let's
It's
just
not the
wait.
same.
Let's wait just a goddamn minute. What the fuck is any of this based on, Ryo?
Thank you. I'm so fucking
No,
tired of
he's a
people saying
puncher.
this
What
shit.
are we
No,
doing,
Jules.
bro?
No, Jules. In his whole, firstly, you've got his record. Then you listen to interviews from people who've sparred with him. A lot of them, they all say, "Man, this guy's power is legit. This guy's a
That's
puncher."
sparring
So,
though. That's sparring
no,
though.
no. Even look, they're not fucking. It's not play school when they're sparring. That they're still throwing punches. This guy's a puncher. We can all agree he's a puncher.
He can punch. He can
Cool.
punch.
Okay,
He
well
can.
that's it.
And that's fucking great. But
So
Hold
Shakur's
on.
going to walk down a
No, I
puncher.
mean
I
he can
mean,
punch or you can
okay.
box a little bit, and he's
listen,
athletic. But
the thing is that my thing is this. I'm not disagreeing with you that he's a puncher, but I don't think he's any less a puncher than Moschino was, because unbeknownst to most, Moschino was a puncher. Did you see what he did to Nakatani? He's a puncher. Beat his ass. So De Los Santos can punch it, but he's got a little bit of power. So fucking what? This is Shakur Stevenson. You fuck.
the one thing I want to see in regards with Shakur, and I'm not downing him or anything when I say this, so please don't think I am.
No,
I want
I am
to
going to think that.
Oh, you go ahead then. Damn it! I want to see if he can come back from if he has any type of adversity.
No, I don't want him to get knocked down. You know why? You want to see that, and I get that. But if he
No,
does,
I don't want him to lose. I just want to see how he comes back from adversity.
And the reason I don't want to see that is because they'll use that against him with Gervonta, who has neither fought Shakur or De Los Santos. That's what the narrative will become.
Or basically nobody else.
yes, I do. I think that's going to be a narrative that's going to happen. Like I think De Los Santos is going to hit Shakur with something big. He's going to wobble him, or might even drop him, and people are going to start talking about Gervonta. But I think that Gervonta, and this is a very controversial statement, but I think Shakur would stop Gervonta. I think Gervonta has shitty ring positioning. He has shitty ring positioning, and the idea that Shakur is just going to box another southpaw is nonsense. He's never done it, even as an amateur. When he fought a southpaw, he walked them down. And I think that, and then Gervonta has another fucking high guard too. So I think he's gonna eat that shit up. He's gonna
Can
beat
I
him up on
respond to
the
Julio
inside,
with
and I
what you
see
just said
him.
right there?
I think he'll stop him. I think Gervonta's gonna be up against the ropes where he gets caught too a lot.
Him,
That's
Julio.
not a
Where did you
controversial
get the
take at all,
idea
man.
he fights him ever?
He's gonna. If I'm saying if it happens, that's how I see it happening. Like Gervonta's gonna end up on the ropes, and Shakur's gonna beat the shit out of him on the inside, and the ref's gonna get in between them. And that's exactly how that fight will go down.
Spence 2.0. Spence 2.0.
I don't know about that. But
yeah, I know about that.
Again, I don't know about the fight happening, to be real.
I mean, if you ask me, am I holding my breath for Gervonta to fight him? No, I said he's going to fight Isaac. And listen, not me. That's the rumor that's out there. That's what Michael Benson tweeted. Sean Gibbons has acknowledged that there are conversations for the Isaac Cruz rematch.
Okay, I'm gonna say this. Shakur Stevenson for me is not the second coming of Terence Crawford, because for me, if you're gonna get to that height, like being compared to Terence Crawford, you have to accomplish what Terence Crawford have done, and Shakur Stevenson hasn't done that yet. But this is not me comparing Terence Crawford with Terence Crawford versus Errol Spence against Shakur Stevenson versus Gervonta Davis. It's because Gervonta Davis for me is not tested, and you have a 10 years pro career, and you haven't fought anyone. At least Errol Spence has two unification fights to brag about.
Yeah, very true.
Gervonta Davis doesn't have any of that. So for me, I favor Shakur Stevenson. I'm not saying that it's as good as Terence Crawford, but it's because Gervonta Davis is. I don't think it's that good.
I
Yes,
don't, and I can't say that publicly on social media without like people are literally pretending that Mario Barrios was good or that beating Ryan that's a big win commercially maybe, but in terms of sport, no, I don't even know that Ryan would beat De Los Santos.
Look,
Not
I hate to
joking.
say it. I hate to say it, and he's a good kid, but like Barrios is a glorified, journeyman.
I mean,
look, this is a problem when you don't respect the due process in us by a sanctioning body.
listen, I know she
Look,
has eczema, but I'd lick her ass.
look, look at what happened with Mario Barrios against Jordani Sugas. It was a good win because you beat a former champion of welterweight. But look at Jordani Sugas. You won the title against fucking Manny Pacquiao that hasn't fought in 2 years. At the moment you fucking had to defend your title against a legit
You
top
lost
contender.
it. You lost.
No. The moment you have to defend your title against a legit top contender, we're talking about Sanionis, you start to shit the bed. You went to.
That's because
talk to the
Ugas
WWE.
is the 147 version of Mario. That's what he is. He literally only got a reputation because he lost to the right guy, and that's it.
And that's how they built. But that's what they. That's been the look. That's what they did with Ortiz. Who the fuck did Ortiz beat? That Wilder beating him is so special.
You beat
It's
Brian
only
Jennings. That's pretty
Brian
good.
Jennings.
hey, call my mother. He beat Brian Jennings. Oh my
World
god.
class Christian Hunter. Christian. Whatever.
Listen, man. The point I'm making
That's
is
the thing.
that's what they do. Isaac didn't beat anyone, but because he lost to Javante, he didn't.
Yeah, you ever notice how like fighters could
Morons.
y'all ever notice how fighters could beat the same guy, but then like to a certain fan base, somehow that fighter's victory means more,
Yes,
even though
his name is
somebody else did
Sean
it, even
Porter.
even though somebody else did it better.
Yes. Whenever Terrence Crawford beat Sean Porter, they mean shit. When Spence did it, he became a
Oh
Hall of
yeah,
Fame
oh my
fighter.
God, yes,
I mean, tell me
yes.
I'm wrong.
Yeah, but that's
Sean,
also why Mario Barrios and Errol Spence is a 50-50 fight. They both beat the same guy.
Say that again. Say that
Bro,
again. Say that one more time.
I
my
mean,
God.
on the
Say that again.
PBC,
I don't
oh
blame you, Julio,
shit!
because like
He
real
said
talk.
Mario Barrios and Spence is a 50
And he's
fight
fucking
because they
finished,
both
right?
beat
Have
the
you
same
guys
guy.
seen Spence, bro?
he
Have
can't
you
even
seen him?
stand up.
I have
Bro,
no idea
Sober.
where he's at. I don't know.
What's he been
Yo,
doing? Drinking
That
you
dude got a
all night?
lean gut. He
Errol
has a
Spence
lean
is
gut from drinking Kool-Aid. Like, what the
Literally.
fuck?
I mean,
Did you
first
see?
off, like we don't even know if we're getting a rematch with him and
no.
I mean,
Bud.
I
He's
hope
like
it's a waste of
I
time,
I don't
bro.
want to see.
Like,
I'm not trying to see it, but we don't even
even
know
when
if
he's
that's
picking
the
up a
question.
dog, he looks docile.
Man,
Bro,
after
let me just say
that
this.
much of a one-sided ass whooping, there don't need to be a rematch.
No, they don't. No.
No. Errol Spence is the Joe Biden of welterweights right now.
Oh wow!
Damn.
Oh my
Damn.
God, that was great.
Damn.
shit! Oh
Oh,
shit!
the Joe
He said,
Biden of
"Not
welterweights. That's
Sleepy Joe, not Sleepy Joe."
God damn it,
That's
what's going on here?
no,
I
and
mean,
the other thing is like I can't imagine him mounting a comeback that involves a lengthy campaign at 154. Like I just don't see it. Middleweight isn't any better. If anything, middleweight is worse. So
yeah.
I really feel like this dude is done,
The
man.
dude.
Jules, Yanni Beck's fight with Gaultier with a guacamole, like that was lit, like that was the unification fight. Literally, no one cared about. I'm sorry.
But the thing with Arrow, like it's funny you mentioned Joe Biden because there's a possibility that his brain is healthier than Errol Spence's. You're talking about a dude who got thrown out of a car. He got thrown out of a car and then took a hellacious ass whooping at the hands of Terrence Crawford. And at 154, so like let's say like Ring, you're right, he has to make a comeback at 154. 154 is a low key
It's a
fucking like
minefield. It's a
Who's he gonna beat
minefield,
on
bro. Tim
154?
Zoo, like listen.
Mendoza whoops his ass.
Bro, Errol Spence, Tim Zoo, that Errol might lose that.
Nah, that's a body bag fight, man. Don't do that.
Honestly, I don't see the incentive for Errol to keep fighting fiscally, which to me is the biggest motivating factor. That you know, if the money is there, guys will make sacrifices. But in all honesty, there's a lot of risk at 154, but not a lot of money. Nah, I mean there isn't.
Dude,
Like, so
with his
Yo,
style, with Errol's style at
fellas,
154,
why
he'd
did you
get
put up,
beaten up badly.
fellas? Why did you just put up subtitles when F.A. Ajagba speaking English?
shout out to Jonathan Lamborena who says Errol the Hooch Spence is in Dubai, baby. He's in the
He just,
moonshine,
you
bro.
know, the smartest
No,
thing
but
he could
listen, like if
do.
Errol tried to fight the way he does at welterweight at
He
154
gets
against
knocked
those big
out.
dudes, dude, he would get beat. He'd get beat like a
Oh,
drum.
that's been my contention throughout, that shit you do, and Julio said it earlier. I've been saying it for he does the same thing every single fight. He doesn't change. There's nothing about him that changes based on the opponent because he's not that adaptable. He literally does the same thing. And if you go to 154 doing that shit, you're going to the hospital, bro.
He
Yeah.
needs.
I
He
mean,
I
all he
needs.
mean,
does
when
is
I
just march forward and just beat his opponents in a submission. Really,
when I say
that's
he's
it.
textbook, he's very readable, man. And it's like, dude, there's no
Well,
variation, there's no
that's why
There's
nuance.
no
Crawford beat the
subtlety
shit
to
out
it.
of him so
Yeah.
easy. Dude, he needs to just fight Crawford again just for the money grab and retire. I mean, that's
Yeah,
the
Is there
smartest thing he
money
can
in it
do.
though, villain?
But
What
he'll
does
get. But I do agree with you. But he'll get a guarantee. He'll get like a $10 million guarantee or
Well, the
something.
thing is, he gets a guarantee from who? These guys don't have a. We don't know if the rumors are
I'm
true.
saying
You know,
in a vacuum, in a perfect world, he gets his $10 million after the horrible pay-per-view. He gets
Yeah,
13.
wait,
Then he calls it a career. That's it. It's game over. He's done.
yeah, no,
Because what's he gonna
but
do at
you make a great
154?
point. They don't have a network to bankrupt anymore. They don't have a
Yeah.
network to steal money from anymore. So how
Exactly,
are they
to
going to pay
embezzle.
these guys?
But who does he fight at 154? That's a cash grab for him.
there is, and that was the
That's
point
my
that I was.
point. The
Only
fight
Tim
takes a
Look, look,
fight
Zoo.
with
no, no, no,
But
no,
cash.
no, no,
listen,
no. Oh, no, no, no. There is someone, but it's not feasible. There is someone that I think that even if you made it now, there's enough there that look, it's not going to do Davis versus Garcia numbers, but I do think it would sell, and that's Virgil Ortiz. But that's not happening. You would
Yeah,
have to.
that would. Yeah,
That would make money if you
no,
do it at
Tim Zoo
Jerry's house.
too.
yeah. You do in
He's not.
Texas.
The thing is, yo, look. The thing is, yeah, if you willing to go to Australia, yeah, that's a big old fight you got on your hands. But that man is gonna destroy you, bro. Like he is gonna fucking destroy you, bro. You think you're gonna stand in front of him doing that bullshit? Tim is the yo. I don't know. I don't know, but if he keeps this up, he might surpass his father. If he keeps this up, he might surpass Costia, bro. I could see him.
I think
I
he
could see
already.
him
He
whooping
already.
ass, not just at junior middleweight. I could see him whooping ass at middleweight. By the time that those guys, the stiffest competition at middleweight, which we all know, is Yanni Bekalim Kanalai. By the time the 54s begin to move up into 60, he may be moving into 168. So then you look at, well, what's the next wave of 60s? Who's the promising 160? It's just a lot of ghosts up there, bro. It's a lot of relics and artifacts.
The leftovers
Arche-
of Felix Cash.
Oh, Troy Isley looks good.
He's
Nah,
not
I
bad.
don't know about that, bro.
Dude,
I've seen
don't
him
forget
fight
Sergio
before. He
Martinez.
don't look that great.
He's still there, bro. He's still fighting people. Sergio, there's just a lot of archaeological finds at 160, but
Triple G
not a
just
lot of
lurking
new.
in the bushes.
You know what I'm saying? Who's seen that movie, The Gods Have Gone Crazy, about the Pepsi can? See, y'all not as old as me. I'm sure
I don't know what
country's.
the hell you're talking about.
What's the name of the
Movie
movie?
about the Bushman. The movie about the Bushman.
The gods must be crazy.
Gods must be crazy.
Y'all both are crazy for
There was
knowing that
two of
movie.
them, 1 and 2.
Or that's 160, dog. It's abysmal, bro. It's
We
abysmal.
need to get you guys out of the house more often, knowing that shit.
Listen, I'm old.
That's
All right,
a
I
old
literally
But I
movie,
don't know what
man.
the fuck you're talking about.
listen. Okay, the point is that there's no new
Joe's
blood.
favorite directors are the Lumiere brothers.
I don't even know who the fuck those guys are. The point is,
They
look,
invented the video camera.
I'll tell you this much: she may have eczema, but she can get all of it with the eczema.
Hit up that super chat, brother.
All right. Janelle says, how far do you think Zile Zhang can go? He's older, but he seems rejuvenated and pretty game for anybody. Well, I don't think most of the division has the tools that he has. And he has power, if nothing else, which is the last thing to go. So the question isn't how far can he go? Who do you think beats him? That's the question. Who beats him?
I think
I would.
nearsightedness is beating you. We need to crowdfund you some glasses.
I have glasses. I use them to drive. I don't like to wear them while I'm doing lives. Um, I think Makhmudov is a good name to throw out there as a guy who might be strong enough to hurt Zhang and has the dimensions to give him a problem, to give him some pushback. Bacoli, if he can get in with some, no, with him and Bacoli, it's who lands first, really, because Bacoli's a monstrous fucking puncher. You see what he did
Yeah,
to
I got
Khan.
Zhang. I think Zhang is a little more
He came in
skilled.
nearly 300
No, no,
pounds in
no.
that
I'm
fight.
not disagreeing with you, Julio. I'm just saying that if Bacoli can get in with something, yeah, he could take him out. You know, if he can get in with something. But I agree that Zhang is a better boxer than Bacoli. He's a better boxer. So close fight, but it to me, it's not who does like. I don't think Parker beats Zhang, bro. Joseph Parker. I think Joseph Parker gets put in the
Oh
hospital.
man. Yeah, yeah, he gets not. I think Zhang beats everybody except Joshua, Usyk, probably Fury, maybe Fury. I think he might beat Fury.
I
I
think
think
he
that's a
might be.
closer
I think he
closer fight
might
than
beat
people think.
Pierre. Bro, this guy got knocked down off a counter left hand from a dude that never boxed before. If Zhang gets in with the backhand, and Fury don't like southpaws, by the way. So Otto had you looking crazy. Otto don't
And
got the
Zhang is his
power to
size. Zhang is like 6'6", 6'7". Like he's Fury's size, so he can't just lean on him. Pause.
Huh.
I
Hey,
don't. I'm not convinced Fury beats that guy.
Hey, what do you think about Anthony Ware's comment? He says Spence versus Virgil Ortiz Jr. on DAZN. Oscar would pay for the fight at 54. I bet. I guess.
If Errol were, yeah, I mean, it sounds great. Look, I said this in about 3, 4 videos. If Thurman were smart, expand your horizons beyond the PBC. Go to Eddie. Tell him, let me get a tune-up fight, maybe 2, and I'll fight Connor. You could literally reinvigorate your career that way. The options are there for guys like Thurman and Spence and other people, but they're not gonna do none of that. These guys don't want to fight. Like if you really look at like they don't want to fight no more, bro. Because Keith, you could have been did that for all the time you just pissed away. You could have been did that. And you never know. Maybe you could give Connor a run for his money. Maybe you give
Another
him his
2
first.
fucking years out the ring.
Yeah,
Almost another
about that,
2 years.
Literally.
Julius. Do you think? Do you really think that Eddie Hearn is willing to play ball under these circumstances? Because I get it before. PBC was in a better state, and if you want to make a fight with Kid Turner, for example, $5 million, $7 million against one of your props, maybe Conor Ben, it was something that was reasonable because Kid Turner was doing relatively well. He had a TV network. He had a promotional deal. It was functioning as a promotional company. Now that Thurman doesn't have any options, for example, I don't think Eddie Hearn is gonna pour
Bro, don't
fucking three,
wait a
four
minute,
million
wait a minute.
dollars.
No, wait a minute. You no, you can believe it because he offered Broner something like $2 million.
But where, when?
That was last year.
Yeah, but PPC out is done with Chop Time. What I think it was going to happen is this: if Kid Thurman goes there with Eddie Hearn and says what you Julius is saying now, Eddie Hearn is going to offer him 1 million, maybe $2 million, because you don't have any other options. If you have other options in the PVC, maybe $4 or $5 million will make it worthwhile for you. But now Eddie Hearn has the leverage in the negotiation table because Turman doesn't have any options. I don't think Turman right now is willing to make that sacrifice because you're gonna get beat. You're gonna
Yeah.
get beat by fucking Conor Ben. It's not gonna be for the money you are looking for because Eddie Hearn doesn't have the need to pay you that much.
My whole thing is that remember this is a scenario where Keith Thurman actually has a tune-up fight where he actually shows more desire than what we're seeing. My point is that if you wanted to fight, if you really wanted to fight and turn things around, the options are there. So we're not even talking about the uninspired Keith that we're dealing with. My point is this guy doesn't want to fight because he's not doing this. If he did want to fight, you could turn this into something big. Fighting Conor Ben is already big just because it's Conor. If you get on your Thurman shit, your salesman, your used car salesman shit, you could turn this into a very big fight in the United Kingdom. But you don't want
Yeah,
to fight.
my I agree with you, Julius, but my point is this. Let's talk 1 year, 2 years ago. It was a possibility that Keith Thurman went to the matchroom, the Zone businesses, and at the end of 2, 3 fights, he makes, let's say, close to $10 million combined. Now, it's not happening. Eddie Hearn is not gonna pour that kind of money. He only gonna pour the money that he think is gonna make sense for a guy that doesn't have any fucking options. It's like if you are unemployable, even if you worth some money, the guy that's willing to actually pay for you is not gonna pay you what you were making before. No, because you are unemployable. You feel me? What I'm saying?
No, I hear you, but I also imagine a scenario where you've had tune-up fights to rebuild and rebrand yourself. See, this entire scenario is predicated on a desire that Keith doesn't have. He doesn't
Okay,
want to
what
fight. In other words,
I get what you're
you
saying.
you could make this fight big if you wanted to fight. You
Yeah,
could turn things around if you wanted to fight. My thing is, bro, this is how we know you don't want to fight. You acting like it's PBC or nothing. They don't even have a
yeah,
broadcast partner.
yeah.
Hey,
And
who is
I get what you're saying, because what you're talking about is, in order to corner Ben and Keith Thurman fight happens, Keith Thurman has to add value to that fight, and the only way that he adds value to that fight is to get a couple of wins and rebrand itself himself
yeah, because
and get more.
I'm not talking about like a cash out, like where he's just, well, yeah, I'll
Yeah,
go
yeah, yeah.
fight Connor now. I'm saying that if you really wanted to get active, there are ways to get active. There have been. You just don't want to fucking do anything, bro. You don't want to do
eh,
nothing.
Yeah,
Jack?
it's not
Go
gonna
ahead, man.
increase it's not gonna increase his market value voluntarily, because he doesn't have it anymore for that kind of endeavor.
There it is. That my whole argument is, and it's not limited to Thurman. There are other guys like this that if you really wanted to get out there and make something happen, you actually could. Like, all right, you're Jermall Charlo. Maybe you don't even really give a fuck about Adames, but you do seem to have the WBC wrapped around your finger. So if you have the desire and the fire in the belly to bring big fights to middleweight, yo, let's go to Top Rank and beat the shit out of that counterfeit Golovkin. Let's get that motherfucker. Oh hell, let's
Yeah.
let's, let's go fight
What
old Lara at
what
least. Look,
uh,
old Lara's got a belt. Let's go whoop his ass.
what PBC boxers don't understand, that the days of the Mikey Garcia and Gennady Golovkin paydays, those days are over.
These are fucking and that's what the Great Reset is needed for, because the next wave of fighters will not have the same entitlement and asking price that these guys have. These guys were the problem. You can't even get them to do their job. When they don't do their job, the sport suffers. So when you get this new wave of guys, and a good number of them aren't even American, which is a good thing, by the way. That means you can lower the costs, bro. Because the other shit is, you got boxing fans that think that the fight is supposed to get whatever they want, and no, you're not, fam. This is a bit. How the fuck you sound thinking everybody's supposed to get fairy tale money? That's the
Yeah,
problem with a lot of you
what
motherfuckers.
what fans don't understand, especially the fans that don't pay for fucking shit, is in order to us, the fans, be able to watch these fucking fights, is the promotions and the TV networks make money. They cannot be losing money because they're not gonna keep paying for the fucking fights.
And if you
So
gotta
you cannot.
pay a guy a million or half of, like it's like, nah, that's not real, bro. Now listen, if you making 200, let's just say you're making in between 250,000 to $500,000 per fight, and you're fighting 3 times a year, right? That's good money at the end of the year. That's good money. Yeah, it
Yo,
requires you to work, but on the schedule that a lot of you guys are on, nobody even fucking knows you guys anyway. So you need to fight more, bro. And the costs have to come down.
You know
It
what?
doesn't make
Hey,
sense.
I
did
just
you
want to
guys?
point out a comment.
Go ahead, Virtuoso.
Real quick, I just want to mention a comment by Johnny Blaze. Manny gave KCT. You know, you're right because he hit him so hard that Keith Urban believed he was worth $10 million.
Swear, right? That motherfucker whole calibration is off. Shout out to Fat Belly. Do you believe Canelo will work with Oscar for Munguia? Not work with. Oscar will work for him. Remember that if you do this fight with Canelo, it's not Oscar calling the shots. And at the helm of promotion will be Canelo Alvarez Promotions. Like, it's basically y'all just shipping off Jaime in a body bag. Basically. Shout out to Jay Nels. So I'm a big Rick Rude, aka Richard Torres fan. Who should his next step fights be to get that next level? Because he's eating these garbage men up. Well, Jerry Forrest, Johnny Rice, those kinds of people, right? Those are the
Yep,
kinds of people that he
Yeah, I
should be
agree.
fighting.
those are the next step. Hey, did any of you guys notice that Ajagba's corner guy was holding the WBC belt upside down the whole time when he was holding it up in the corner?
I noticed that weird ass dancing he
That's
was
why I
doing, bro.
laughed,
He looked
man.
like a
I
white
wasn't
woman
trying to
around the
interrupt her.
club, bro.
I wasn't trying to interrupt or anything, but that's why I was
Already.
laughing because that shit was funny, man.
So Jogba's touching him with the jab a little bit. He's touching him. He's touching him. I saw Goodall with Hooney. Hooney's not a huge puncher. He went the distance with Hooney, but Hooney outclassed him. So, Jogba, you better show me something. Hooney outclassed his ass.
Look, Ajagba should win this fight for a simple reason that
He's winning this round so far, though.
Goodall,
He is.
Goodall is a hooker. And if your best punches are your straight punches, you have a really good advantage against a guy that relies mostly on hooks.
Mm-hmm.
He's looking good from range right now.
Yeah. Managing. I'm surprised they didn't choose to run it back with the Kazakh.
Who? Oh, the
Remember
DQ.
Remember how that shit ended, bro? Because of the low blows and shit, or the fouls or whatever it was.
It was
Honestly,
really
that
him.
guy against
It was
Anderson,
Ajagba.
against Torres would be a good
That was a
idea.
Jogba, bro, with the fouling and all of that shit. That was a
Yeah.
Jogba.
The guy, he did not give a fuck.
He damn sure didn't.
Oh yeah,
That was a
Mr. Low
good
Blow. Talking
fight,
about Mr.
though.
Low Blow, right?
The Kazakh guy, yeah.
They spent 4 rounds.
Oh
tapping
yeah, that
Torres,
guy,
bro.
man. He took it to a whole nother level. I remember that.
He channeled
Didn't he
Andrew
get
Galata.
It was David
Didn't he get
Goulart.
disqualified for that shit? And out of
I
the
would have
fight?
liked to see them run it back. I would have liked that. Good double jab.
He got like pissed off during the fight because dude hit him low, so he kept hitting him low, and they disqualified him. Right?
Yeah, that day was full of low blows. What the low blows on?
What was the other fouls that day?
Usyk and Dubois.
Right. Those are state. Right.
That
I
shit
saw
was
that. I saw that fight live, and it was worse actually in person than it was on TV. I don't think that dude will ever get on another top ranked show again because you could tell he was getting frustrated, and then he was just purposely trying to end the fight, and he was trying to hurt Ajagba. He wasn't trying to fight anymore. It was more frustration with the ref, so he took it out on him, which was stupid. But I can't see that dude getting another
He's not gonna
fight
get
on Top
another
Rank ever
slot.
again.
And not in America anyway. Not
Yeah,
in
he ain't gonna
America.
get another fight again after that.
He better fucking go. I don't know. He better go to Asia with that shit.
if FA fights Zhang, I got Zhang by knockout, man.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, bro. Like
This tentative Ajagba, I don't know. He ain't doing it for me. I don't know.
But they have to. But I will say this: the top rank, and I know I just said this. I know I know, but you got to pay Zhang, bro. Yeah, you got to pay him.
Got to
bro.
pay to play.
You do though, because he don't have to fight a Jogba. That's the thing, that he don't have to fight him. He's WBO interim. He can sit on his hand and fart and smell it until the title shot comes around. He doesn't have to fight a Jogba. So if you want him to fight a Jogba, yeah, you got to pay him, bro. You got to pay him.
Let him do it and let him stay sharp. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, Jules,
I would want to watch it though. I would want to watch it. It's a good fight. Good fight.
I was gonna ask Jules, how do you feel about the narrative that Wilder and Malik Scott have been putting out for the past couple of months? That
What's the?
he's the most avoided fighter at heavyweight.
He's not avoided by anyone, bro. I'm so tired of Wilder and what he's done to this. It's like it's a pain in the ass, bro. Like it really is. Like, bro, if you wanted to fight, there's guys that want to fight you. You know, if you offered Frankie Sanchez the fight, you think he doesn't take it? Like, what you think? Makhmudov is scared of you? Come on, bro. We know what time it is, bro. With
The problem
Andy,
with
with Andy, I don't know if I should blame Andy or Wilder, but what I see is Wilder, you don't even have the marquee.
Oh,
You don't have the
right.
marquee value to secure a fight with Andy Ruiz.
Nice 1-2 on
mm,
Ajagba, man. This
I ain't
guy
gonna lie, he
got him.
doing nice. He doing good right now.
Yeah, he's managing
Yeah, he
real
actually
good.
looks a
Yeah.
bit better
He
on the
snapped
Bastion side.
Ajagba's
Oh,
head back.
damn. Yeah,
Getting that
look,
the
jab
problem
working.
with a guy like Deontay Wilder is, I'm gonna say this, is kind of a paper champion in the sense of, he was a paper champion in the sense of, if you're gonna defend your title a number of times, you have to have that fight against a top contender. And look, you cannot say Deontay Wilder really had that fight. You cannot.
Dylan White was that top contender.
I mean, if you look at the Ortiz fight, you say,
Yeah.
that's sort of
but
a
it's
top
just I don't,
contender.
I don't because he was top 10 in the division, not top 5. But he was top 10. He was. He was on TBRB. He was on BoxRec. He was on Ring, and he was on ESPN. So you could, that he had that fight. Is just that's all you had.
I mean,
Like,
let's just say you fought Dylan White and actually beat him, or like that. They
yeah,
could
then
use that.
we wouldn't even have nothing to say. Like, you just got to eat
I mean,
it.
but I'm just saying that would have been used. They could have sold that as a measuring stick. Okay, he knocked out Dylan White quicker than AJ or something else. You know what I mean?
I
It's
bet
like,
he wished
Look,
Dillian White was still around now. Shit,
where is Dillian?
look,
bro, he tested
I'm
positive
talking
for a
about,
pan
No, I
substance.
know, but nobody's seen him since.
You trying to sort that shit
no, no,
out?
no, I'm talking about, look, if you're talking about the guys on the heavyweight division that had a claim to the world title, you're talking about Pulev, you're talking about fucking Povetkin, you're talking about those kind of guys. And those are the kind of guys that they test a champion when the time comes.
Yeah.
And Deontay Wilder didn't really have, because you have said this, Julius, a number of times. Who fucking Luis Ortiz beat to be so highly thought in the heavyweight
Nobody.
division? Nobody.
I mean,
Nobody.
it's funny how the Povetkin fight was never revisited, but the Ortiz fight, he fought him twice.
Well, what really struck me was how they had to rescue Wilder in the first fight with Ortiz.
They literally
You know?
stopped the fight in the middle of the round.
Yeah,
Well,
give
no,
that-
in between rounds, they
Yeah.
stopped it.
Yeah.
It's like, bro,
Yo.
and people won't let it go. They're not gonna let it go. They really just want him to be more. So much, and it's like, bro, your signature win after over 10 years, after over a decade in the sport, and over 40 something fights, is
Luis
literally Luis Ortiz. That's it, bro.
That's
That's
your
it.
best
And that
win. Yeah.
that being said, though, I'm gonna be honest. I think he does have a pretty good chance to get into the Hall. I know people get tight when
No,
you
I'm
hear
not
that,
even.
but
I'm not mad at you. I said that the other day because of the sentimentality of whoever's
nah.
voting.
But even then, bro, like what's it like 10 title defenses or something?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, that's
No, no, no,
trash.
no, 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 no. Look, you're not wrong. I said that 4 lobs ago. That because of the title defenses, he might get in. But the sentimentality too. That, bro, they just really want him to be more. They honestly, and it's
Shit. Fa got him
ridiculous.
now. Fa got him. Oh, he got him now. He breaking him down. Come on,
I'm
Fa.
behind.
Time to go.
Look
Time
at
to get.
And
Time
maybe
to
I'm
get
like
nasty.
4
Time
seconds
to get
behind or
nasty in
not
there.
because I don't see. I see him
It's
throwing
a
a
good
jab.
body
So
shot.
look, all the guys you're
oof.
talking about Pulev, Povetkin, Carlos Takam, all those guys. Wilder didn't fought any of those guys.
None of the shit is. I try to remind people that he's not from this era and he debuted in 2008. That you were literally here for a huge portion of that Klitschko era that involved Chisora, that involved Pulev, that involved Povetkin and Chaigev and these people. You were around for a lot of that and you didn't fight shit. You didn't fight Ustinov. You didn't do shit.
Hey! I told this to a Wilder fan. You know what he told me, man?
What he said?
Every single one of those fighters that I was naming were trying to fight Vlad and not Wilder. I kid you not.
Yo,
every single time. I said, yo, what about Pulev? He was trying to fight Vlad. What about Chisora? Yo, he was trying to fight Vlad. He became his mandatory. I was like, all right, bro. What about I forgot who I said after. And he was like, I think I said Ustinov. He was like, yeah, he was trying to fight Vlad too. I don't know what you mean. Like Povetkin was trying to fight Vlad as well, and then he got banned. I was like, oh, god damn.
They got every excuse for Wilder because they decided that
F need to go after this guy now, dude. He's ready to go.
Because I didn't like that. They decided that Wilder's just gonna be the I don't even know, bro. It's nauseating because it's like, fam, what are you even making excuses for? What fucking like
the best one now? The best one now is to blame blame Wilder for bringing Fury back to the heavyweight division. They can't say nothing to that.
No, that's the one thing. That's the one thing that we can't say that they can't respond to. And I know because I've said it in the past. It works. All they do is get quiet. I did it yesterday on Chan's show. I did it. Ooh.
Can I just say?
You see this? You see this?
Anytime you start talking shit about Fury, you bring that up and say, "Hey, you guys." He's the one him and his team are responsible for bringing him back. And
I brought it up yesterday, Country, on Chan's live. I brought it up that Wilder, I blame Wilder for everything because Fury wasn't your mandatory and he didn't earn a title shot. Your stupid ass just decided you rather fight him instead of the other guy.
Well, yeah, they thought they were going to beat the big fat bald-headed cokehead, you know?
I'm a little upset, fellas, that Top Rank has Jules up at 12:20 for this fight.
Yo, it's that time for real?
Why do you care?
Damn.
Because when Jules gets in bed early on a Saturday night, we get a Sunday night boxing talks.
Yeah, sometimes. Yeah, he's actually right. He's actually right.
All right, if you need to knock this dude out, he's ready to go. He's ready.
Yeah, he's ready to go. He'll
ready
catch him. I'm going to smoke, and if he don't knock him out, I'm gonna be upset.
Real quick, I know you happy that Ramla Ali prediction stood still.
Well, I told y'all motherfuckers I got faith in Ramla. I know who the winners are, bro. Ramla is a winner.
Come on, FA, it's late. We trying to go to bed.
I'll be back. I'll be back.
I'm gonna make this question.
Go ahead, Lil.
Let's talk about the super lightweight division. Who of those guys really have a really signature fight to brag about?
Oh, there we go.
The only guys. Lopez is the only one.
I would probably say yeah, unless you want to count Regis's win over Zepeda. That's probably it. Yeah.
So what is Chio's win to you?
That's
Leo?
it. It's over. It's over.
Is it?
Shit.
Yep. Ref stopped it.
Yeah.
He's taking too much punishment.
Leo, what do you think of Chio's win?
Damn.
See, Jules shit away at the wrong time.
Sorry, I'm watching the ass whooping right now.
No,
that's
Chio's win. No, I think it's a good win. It was undefeated, and I don't think it was a favor to win that fight. Josh Taylor,
he wasn't the favorite, so would you consider that a signature win? The best win right now at 140?
The best, yeah, definitely the best guy at 140 because he proved it. He was a linear champion. So even if he didn't have all the belts, yeah, he is the best guy.
Come on, FA, can you really oppose to this performance? Jeez. Sorry, Leo. Go ahead, man.
No, but if we're talking about, I'm not going to talk about fucking Rolly Romero, but Suriel Matias fought that Argentinian guy, and Regis Cepeda, I guess.
Oh, that's why the fight was stopped early. Tony Weeks.
We'll see. We'll see what Regis. I don't think Devin beating Regis is going to be more significant than Tio beating Taylor.
I guess because he wasn't
for me.
His favorite. But yeah, I'll say that.
If it's a complete shadow, I think you can say it because Teofimo Lopez versus Josh Taylor was competitive to a certain point.
Yes, but I think we still have to differentiate. Okay, that guy's lineal. That's the man. You went for the top dog.
Yeah, but okay, if Devin Haney goes there and he's a shadow, 12 rounds to nothing, don't you favor him to beat Teofimo Lopez?
I honestly, Leo, I think I can't. There's no favorite in that fight for me. It's a 50-50 fight
I
across the
would
board.
probably favor him, to be honest,
I
because the way
wouldn't
that
favor him because I've seen what is Haney's biggest fight to date, where the competition is on par with him.
that's not what I'm looking at. I'm looking at Styles
Loma fight.
specifically.
I'm not looking at
So
Styles because we've got to throw Styles out the window because both those guys fight to the level of competition. They've proven it.
who?
So that the Styles is a good conversation, but when the
Oh
lights are the
shit!
brightest,
Oh shit!
when
You
the
missed it,
lights are the
Jules.
brightest,
You missed it.
fellas, Tio has
Very
performed
nice.
better
Very
against
nice.
elite.
Very nice.
Tio has
Very
performed
nice.
better against elite competition than Devin has.
Props to Fa. He boxed good. He boxed good.
Box real
Yeah,
good. Box real
about
good.
FA. Listen,
Boxed good.
after
Leo
after
posed this
beating another
question,
plumber.
Jules.
Hold on.
Hold on. Go
Next
ahead,
year, would you
Virtuoso.
finally take a step up fight?
Say it again,
No, I'm just
Virtuoso.
saying, like, after beating a plumber, yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah,
Yo,
yeah. Go ahead, go
after
ahead, go ahead.
beating a plumber,
Yeah.
do you think he's gonna take a step up fight next year?
Look,
Finally?
I think what would make sense on paper is Joseph Parker. My honest opinion, like that's what I don't think we're gonna get it. You feel me? But I'm saying that you should fight that kind of guy, or you should be fighting that kind of guy that's been in there with other guys. Because I do agree that look, Joe Goodall is all right, but Justice Hooney fought him in his fourth fight, I think it was, or his like fifth fight.
Yeah, schooled him.
That was
He
a
schooled him.
plumber. He fought a plumber.
Beat him easy. So you, because of the number of fights that you have, yeah, I agree with Virtuoso. It's time, bro. Like, yeah, it's time, bro. Like, it's time.
I mean,
Jules,
he
Leo
did
said,
step
like,
up,
so
bro. You
Jules,
saw what happened.
Devin is the favorite against Regis. Does Devin beating Regis mean more than Tio beating Taylor for lineal?
No, the
No, for
fuck,
linear, no.
no, the fuck. Look, I go with the on paper argument for that one. The fact of the matter is that Taylor beat Regis, so the bigger win is Taylor, respectively, because Taylor beat Regis. I know the triangle theories don't work, but I'm not forecasting the outcome of a fight. I'm just saying the bigger win is Taylor. Yeah.
Yeah, my question to you, Julius, is this. Let's say Devin Haney goes there and beats Regis in a complete shutdown. 12 rounds to nothing. Would you favor Devin Haney to beat Teofimo Lopez?
I already favored Devin Haney to beat Teofimo Lopez because of the styles. I said that. Tio, unless Tio ups the pressure and the volume, you're going to look for counters that are not there. And while I do think you have enough power to knock him out, you're looking for a counter to do it. Well, that's going to be hard, bro. He's a little taller than you are, a little longer than you are. Speed, but it's negligible. It's negligible because Tio is fast. But if he stays behind that jab and keeps it long and on the outside, you're not gonna get the chance to counter shit, bro. And we know what happens when you try to walk a guy down. You be looking uncomfortable. You look like you looked in the Sandor Martin fight. So I'm already leaning just based on styles. I just don't want to commit to that statement because first, Devin, get past Regis, first.
I agree with that. Why you would lean Devin? Where the intangibles for me play in is I've seen Tio at the highest level. I've seen Devin. When those bright,
Yeah, but you also saw him look like doodle with Sandor.
but that's not the highest level. Those aren't the brightest lights. Is what I'm saying.
That's my point, though. It's not the highest.
They both fight down to their competition, Devin and Tio.
Yeah, but Devin ain't the one that dropped the ball with George. He made that shit look easy.
He was supposed to. We know why Tio. What I'm saying
so
is,
was
when
Tio,
the
bro.
other guy,
that's my point. So was
Tio.
Tio.
What I've seen Tio do with Taylor and Loma, I haven't seen Devin do that with any of them any guy on that level yet.
No, you can't use an argument like that when they literally look. It's not even the triangle theory shit.
It's not the triangle theory. It is
because
it's the same thing.
Tio,
it's the same thing.
Tio fought a dude.
Jamel.
Tio fought a dude that, bro, you was supposed to win that. You was the massive favorite. You dropped the ball.
And what I'm saying is it's the same thing when the lights get bright. Jermell talked all that shit. The lights got the brightest, and he folded.
Yeah, but that doesn't apply here.
That
We literally
applies.
know
That
that
applies.
on two occasions, Tio has dropped the ball. On at least two occasions, he's dropped the ball.
When it counted against the guy that is gonna
So
supposed to beat him,
losing to George doesn't count?
that is not fucking what I'm talking about. You know that's not what I'm talking about.
All
I'm
I'm
talking
telling you is Tio is not stable. No matter
Oh, we know
look, he
that.
has
Yeah.
great wins, but he is not stable. He is not always reliable. It's cool you beat Look, you beat Loma more convincingly than Devin did, because I don't think Devin beat Loma. Awesome. You beat Josh, which to me is a bigger win than Regis, but you're not consistent, bro. You're not consistent.
Who was favored in those fights? Loma and Taylor?
Loma was favored. I believe that Loma was favored over Lopez, but I'm not sure that the odds makers had Taylor over Lopez.
It
I'm
might have
not
been
sure.
even money, huh?
He was a 2-1 favorite, I think, but not. It was.
Well, that's
okay.
2-1. That's not a lot.
That's basically
That's not
even
a lot.
money. That's even money.
It's close to even money. And
Where
my thing is, Lopez is not great on the front foot until he gets the counter off. He want to land big, then he'll move in for the other punches. And I'm like, yo, dog, I think it's gonna be a little hard for you to get those counters off with Devin. I do.
No, I agree with you. There is more ways for Devin to beat him. Tio needs the perfect game plan. Honestly, Tio
needs to knock him out.
Tio needs Joey Gamache
He
in that. He needs Joey Gamache in that corner.
He needs to change that card too. That guard
honestly, like I know Jules is the only one out of the content creators that really harps on this, but like Joey Gamache knows how to craft a game plan and is a savant with like the X's and O's of boxing. And ever since he's been out of Tio's camp, you see the discrepancy.
Well, look, to Tio's credit, the plan that he had for Josh was a great plan, but if you're paying attention, it's a fight, and I don't even want to be that Monday morning quarterback, but it is true that if you bring the fight to Tio, that plays into his hands because he's a counterpuncher. If you're aggressive with him, he'll have those windows all night. Well, Devin's not aggressive. Yeah. He's not aggressive. He's gonna pot shot all night. And if it's boring, you know he don't give a shit.
No. And now we've established like most likely Tio versus Devin's a boring fucking aesthetic fight.
Yes. The only way that turns out to be a barn burner is if and it's not even a huge adjustment to make. It's not huge. Instead of looking for single jabs, just double, triple up the jab. You're not trying to hit him with the jab. You're trying to get him looking at the jab. Like, get him worrying about that jab and put other punches in there. Sneak in there, 3-4 punch combinations, because the way to beat a guy like Devin is with volume. Yeah. You're not going to do it with a single punch unless you just got that kind of power, you know?
And I think because they both fought Loma, and here's where the athleticism is a wash. I do think Tio's twitch reflexes and quickness is more compact than Devin's.
I would say it is, but he is a shorter man than Devin, so it'll be harder to get within striking distance. Devin's going to jab, half-step jab, half-step jab. He's not going to be there for a lot of shit. He's just going to stay behind his jab. So you got to slip that jab, get around under that jab, and you really got to, like, beat him up. Like, or try to. You have to beat him up.
If it's
on that note, gentlemen,
go ahead.
It's late. I'm going to sleep.
He's going to grab a man.
Everybody have a good night.
I love you.
Take care of yourselves.
All right.
Did you just think you love me, bro? What the fuck is going on here?